begin. Our awesome keynote speaker for tonight is none other than a licensed nurse, University of Santo Tomas, the Pontifical Royal University nursing graduate, PH, the Philippines' top income earner, Philippines' top growth qualifier, and executive two-star diamond director. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, USANA Philippines and the world, let us all welcome by typing type 1, none other than our mentor, Ryan Tan. A big round of applause. Let's go for it. Mentor Ryan, the floor is yours.
Hi, Maurice. Thank you for
Hello.
the introduction. And hello to Ma'am Joyce and to the other 1,000 attendees of this training tonight. So personally, I'm very happy to be here and meet all the new distributors because although I'm somebody who has been in the business na for the past 12 years, I can still relate with the excitement of the new distributors na wow, grabe, I'm starting my business. On one hand, you feel that way. But on the other hand, I'm sure a lot of you're quite concerned, my God, ano ba itong pinasok ko? Parang, can I really do this business? Mabibenta ko ba yung products ko? Will I really earn from this? And ako, when I was starting, practically I felt the same 12 years ago. So, to get the training started, let me share a bit about myself for the people who don't know me yet. So, prior to USANA, hindi talaga ako mahilig mag-sales, hindi ako mahilig magbenta-benta, mag-business. So, the path that I was supposed to take, which was nursing, I'm a nursing graduate from UST, medyo nawala ako sa landas. It was because I graduated from UST, batch 2008 ako. And when I graduated from UST back in 2008, it was such bad timing kasi sumabay siya sa US recession. And during my time, all of a sudden, nag-decide yung United States not to issue visas muna for foreign nurses. Kasi ang dami-daming unemployed sa kanila. Yung problem ko, during my time, buong sambayanan nag-nursing yata. So ang dami-daming supply ng nurses dito. And the only option that I had, kung mag-aantay ako sa States parang 10 years. So the only option that I had, hindi pa uso yung New Zealand, Canada, United Kingdom during my time. Sabi sa akin, Ryan, ba't hindi ka muna mag-Saudi? Ako naman, I was really frustrated kasi ang sabi sa akin, pag nursing daw, magiging American citizen, dollars daw yung pay. Sabi ko, oh my God, bakit naman Saudi yung babagsakan ko? Sabi ko, ayoko nga. So what I did, when I graduated from UST 12 years ago, I tried applying for a job in St. Luke's BGC. And luckily, during my time, as in newly opened pa lang talaga sila, as in wala pa silang hire ni isa. And ako, I tried applying sa kanila. And when they found out naman na UST grad ako, on the same day, they asked me to take an exam. They subjected me to an interview. And on that same day, luckily, although ang daming walang trabahong nurses, pumasa naman ako, pero I was just shocked. They were offering me for a nurse trainee position, 6,000 pesos a month. Sabi ko, totoo ba to? 6,000 a month? I live in Quezon City. Tapos yung work is in BGC. Sabi ko, kung 6,000 a month, parang kulang pa to, pamasahe ko, papunta pa uwi. So sabi ko, ayoko nga ng ganyan. So, in short, after graduating from college, I did not work right away. Until meron akong friend, ang kulit-kulit niya, sabi niya, Ryan, wala ka namang ginagawa. Why don't you check out USANA? So, ako naman, when I checked what USANA was all about, hindi naman ako excited, hindi naman ako skeptic. I just went to the presentation and listened to the whole thing. And pagdating sa dulo, yung friend ko, he was asking me to join. And ako, pikon ako sa kanya. Sabi, galit na galit ako after the presentation. Sabi ko, number one, my God, sales pala to. Sabi ko, maganda naman kung maganda yung products ng USANA, pero kung papagtindahin mo ako ng vitamin sa kapitbahay ko, sa mga kaibigan ko, sa relatives ko, sabi ko, masipag naman akong tao, pero I really don't see myself selling vitamins for a living. And secondly, sabi ko sa kanya, wala naman akong 30,000 or 40,000. Sabi ko, I'm a fresh grad. Tapos pinapunta mo pa ako all the way here, knowing na may cash out pala to. Sabi ko, definitely, I'm not gonna join a business like this. So this was 12 years ago. Kaya lang what happened on that same day before I left the presentation, this friend of mine introduced me to the person mentoring him in the business. And itong person na nagme-mentor sa kanya, para siyang budol-budol, para siyang mind reader. It was my first time to meet him. Tinanong lang niya ako out of nowhere. Sabi niya, Ryan, I heard you're a nursing grad. Sabi niya, ikaw ba, do you actually plan to work till you're 65 years old? balak mo ba talagang mag-nursing till you retire? Sabi niya, is that what you have planned for yourself? And when he asked me that question, I really found it so weird. Kasi when you're 21 years old, sa totoo lang, you really don't think about what you'll do when you retire. Pero when he asked me with that question, doon ako napaisip, parang wait lang, mag-work ba talaga ako till 65? Sabi ko parang hindi siguro kasi I remember, sabi ko OJT days ko pa lang sa UST. Sabi ko student nursing pa lang yun, medyo nasiraan na ako ng bait. Sabi ko paano pa kaya talagang mag-work ng 4 decades or 5 decades of my life? And then he asked me, Ryan, kung hindi ka naman pala mag-work forever, what's your game plan? And I remember telling him, sabi ko siguro at some point I could, when the timing is better, when I have money, sabi ko siguro I could get into business din at some point. Eh sabi niya, Ryan, if you were to get into business at some point, what sort of business do you plan to get into? And ako, I really had no idea naman. But I remember answering that day. Sabi ko, probably I could start a Jollibee franchise or get into construction. And you know what guys, pinagtawanan niya ako. Hindi naman kami close, na-offend ako sa kanya. Sabi niya, loko-loko ka pala Ryan, may pa Jollibee construction ka pa. Sabi niya, ito nga, this is just 30,000, 40,000. Ang dami-dami mo nang sinasabi. You're very apprehensive about it. E sabi niya, kung wala kang lakas ng loob, mag-business for like 30,000 or 40,000, sabi niya, how could you get into business for millions of pesos? And ako, I got his point naman talaga. Parang it really made me think. But you know what guys, no? What made me change my mind about joining USANA was the last thing he told me. Doon niya ako nabulsay. Sabi niya, you know what Ryan, kung mag-business ka naman din pala eventually at some point in your life, sabi niya, why do you have to wait till you're like 50 or 60? Sabi niya, kung negosyo naman din pala yung lalandingan mo, ba't hindi ka na lang magsimula while you're 21, as young as you are? Diba? Why don't you start a small business like USANA? So ako naman, parang doon ako nabulsa. Sabi ko, oo nga, why don't I try my hand in this business na $100 a week, $200 a week yung potential income, sabi sa akin, versus mag-nursing for like 6,000 a month in St. Luke's. So what happened with me? Pag-uwi ko ng bahay, I was so excited. I tried borrowing money from my mom. Sabi ko, borrow ng 40,000. And she asked me, para saan yung money na binabaro mo? Sabi ko, mag-join ako ng USANA. Sabi niya, ano yun? And ako naman, I couldn't really explain the whole presentation na binigay sa akin. Sabi ko lang sa kanya, basta trust me, mommy, babalik ko yung pera mo in like 2 months to 3 months. Dodoblehin ko pa. And in the end, galit na galit siya sa akin. Sabi niya, ano ba yan? Parang instead na maghanap ka ng matinong trabaho, UST grad ka, kung ano-anong mga networking pinagsasalihan mo. So ako naman, no, to be honest, when my mom got frustrated with me, nagalit siya sa akin because gusto kong mag-join ng USANA, doon ako medyo na-excite. Sabi ko yung nursing nga, sa loob-loob ko, pinagpilitan mo sa akin, wala namang nangyari. Sabi ko this time around, I'll follow my own track no, and see talaga what happens. And ito lang no guys, to be honest, para lang wala rin false expectations yung mga bago sa inyo. After the day I joined USANA, doon ako medyo nagpanic after I got the products. Kasi nung nakuha ko yung products ko, inutang ko lang yung money to join. It hit me. Sabi ko, my God, kanina akong bebenta yung products na to. And sabi ko, who will I approach to join the business with me? Sabi ko, I have friends, I have contacts, pero I'm not entirely sure if I could persuade them to start a business like this. I have friends, I have relatives, pero sabi ko, oh my God, yung mga kilala ko, mga barat yun. Sabi ko, I'm not entirely sure kung bibili sila ng vitamins na 3,000, 4,000 pesos. And after I joined USANA, I really got so frustrated, lalo na after my first year. So I joined January 2009 together with my business partner, si Mentor Raj. And after a year of us doing the business together, no, personally, I only ended up making mga 20 to 30,000 a month after a year of doing it. And in 2010, sabi ko, my God, nakaka-frustrate naman tong business na to. Sabi ko, even 20,000, 30,000 a month, sabi ko, hindi naman pala ganun to ka-life-changing. So, nung 2010, I really thought of quitting USANA. Kaya lang, sabi ko, kung mag-quit naman ako ng USANA, saan ako lilipat? Sabi ko, ang only options ko lang back then, kung nursing grad ka no, during my time, it was either to get into a call center job or apply for a med-rep position. So sabi ko, one of the things I hated about USANA was having to talk to people. So sabi ko, kung lilipat ako ng med-rep, lilipat din ako ng call center. Sabi ko, it's the same thing. So, although tinuloy-tuloy ko siya with 20 to 30,000 a month, I was really frustrated financially. Sabi ko, grabe, even if you earn 20 to 30,000 a month in the Philippines, hindi ka pa rin pala talaga realistically mayaman, no? And what frustrated me about my 30,000 income a month in USANA, I remember when I was in college, my mom used to give me like 6,000 pesos a month. And yung 6,000 pesos a month ko, nakakapag-Starbucks pa ako, nakakapag-Burger King pa ako. So when I was in college, sabi ko siguro if I start making 20,000 a month, ang yaman-yaman ko na. Pero you know what guys, when I started making 20 to 30,000 a month, sabi ko, in a way, siguro you can buy good food, you can pay for your bills, you can pay for your groceries. Pero sabi ko, even if you earn like 40, 50,000 a month, you cannot just buy a house. You cannot just buy a car, save millions of pesos. And for me, I was really frustrated about this kasi feeling ko, alam mo yung when you look around you dito sa Pilipinas, ang dami-dami sa atin college graduates. And in fact, no, if you were to compare the college literacy rate ng Pilipinas versus Western countries, mas marami pa tayong college graduates per thousand of people. Pero kung titingnan mo, di ba, it's so weird. Parang it's so unacceptable. Bakit ganun? Yung mga tao dito, they're college graduates. Masipag naman, may decent naman na trabaho, matyaga naman, pasok ng pasok sa work. But at the end of the day, they don't have money. Mga walang pera. And for me, it's really frustrating kasi that's something that I really don't understand till now. Diba? A lot of people masipag matyaga pero walang pera. Ako, this is just my personal opinion, no? If you're a person siguro na tamad ka, you're tambay, tapos alam mo yun, drug addict ka and you have no money, you're not financially successful, malamang, kasi you're not being productive. But if you're an adult, you're 21 and above, you have a good job, and financially you're not making good money, it's because a lot of Filipinos are masipag matyaga, but they're stupid when it comes to money. They're stupid when it comes to business. And why does that happen to a lot of Filipinos? It's because culturally, kung titingnan mo ang Filipino mindset, it's not really towards business. If you're a person, you're completely Filipino and you grew up with Filipino parents, alam mo yung habang tumatanda ka, pinuprogram na tayo ng parents pa lang na, uy Ryan, hindi tayo mayaman, aral ka ng mabuti, pag-graduate mo, hanap ka ng trabaho. So basically, if you're Pinoy and you had parents na hindi naman talaga business-oriented, ang track talaga sa atin is to always look for a job, to always work for somebody else, di ba? Maging swelduhan. It's very rare for a Filipino parent to tell his or her child na, uy Ryan, nursing ka dyan, mag-resign ka nga, maghanap ka ng sarili mong business, magtayo ka ng sarili mong negosyo. You would rarely hear that from a Filipino parent. That's why generation after generation, kung titingnan mo, a lot of Filipinos, matalino kung matalino, pero makikita mo, they really don't flourish financially. It's really because they're not accustomed to doing business. That's why I understand, no, a lot of you right now, there are 1,000 people in the room. A good number of you, lalo na yung mga bagong join, alam mo yung you're excited but you have this inferiority complex na kaya ko ba talaga itong gawin? Was it the right decision to even venture into USANA? And you have to understand where that emotion is coming from. It comes from the fact na prior to USANA, most likely, wala ka naman talagang training in business. Wala ka talagang training in sales. But you know what, guys? I have good news for you. Like in my case, no, I'm somebody na I was super introverted. Hindi ako magaling magsalita before. I just got developed dito throughout the years. Pero with much persistence naman and hard work, ultimately, my business partner and I, we started making 6 figures, 7 figures a month. And sabi ko, when I joined USANA back in 2009, I really thought impossible yung 1 million pesos a month. I really thought impossible yung 200,000, 300,000 pesos a week. Pero sabi ko, doon ko na-realize, no, lahat naman talaga ng bagay sa mundo, just like any other venture that you got yourself into, lahat naman yan na pag-aaralan. So if you're somebody na you're worried, you're anxious na, uy, parang mali yata yung decision ko to get into USANA. Yeah, it's okay to feel that way, but don't panic because just like any other thing, USANA is something na kaya mo talagang aralin. So ito lang, no, we became quite successful in USANA to the point that my story was featured sa Business Mirror. I was interviewed by a local newspaper. So they were asking me here, Ryan, considering you're not into sales, you're not into business, why did you even consider joining USANA and how did you end up succeeding? And basically, the answer I gave them was very simple. Sabi ko, number one, to be honest, I didn't really like USANA in the first place. Pero sabi ko, if this is how I could make good money, why not? Sabi ko yung nursing, I really hated nursing, but I became a licensed nurse. So sabi ko, if the opportunity is here, if I could make good money here, why not? And throughout the years, no guys, just to share, it's not only me who has found success in USANA. There are countless people then who became quite fairly successful dito. Ito lang, no, let me just share the backgrounds of some of the teammates that I have, some of the leaders that I have, because ako, I really find this important to share, no, because in the Philippines, a lot of people look down upon network marketing. Pero kung titingnan mo, a lot of the major leaders in USANA right now, prior to USANA, they had good corporate careers. And they even had good business background. So, first and foremost, no, on the leftmost side of this picture, her name is Tita Heidi Gambol. So, prior to USANA, Tita Heidi used to be the vice president of a major bank, as in one of the major banks in the Philippines. But even Tita Heidi, I was surprised. She filed for early retirement so she could devote more time sa USANA. And sabi ko, grabe, VP na to ng bangko. And to her right naman, this is Mentor Sheila. Prior to USANA, she used to work for GMA7. She used to be a promising investigative journalist. Kaya lang when she became a mom, she wanted more time na maging mom sa newborn kid niya. And ever since 2010, Sheila has been full-time in USANA. And to my right naman, si Tita Liena, she's a traditional business person from Cebu. And to her right naman si Doc Cha, she's a doctor from UP. She went to New York for her master's. She's a practicing orthopedic surgeon and she's also doing USANA. And to her right also si Mentor Raj, so he's my business partner. Prior to USANA, he used to be a computer engineering graduate from Mapua. And makikita mo dito, no, regardless of background, a lot of people are seeing talaga the benefits of starting a USANA business. And not only them, even, ito lang, just to give few more examples, to my left, her name is Attorney Nol Castillo. So si Attorney Nol, nag-meet ko na lang din sa USANA, but she's also under me. She used to work for the Supreme Court of the Philippines. Sabi ko, Attorney Nol, what do you do in the Supreme Court? Sabi niya ay one of the legal researchers for Supreme Court decisions. Sabi ko, grabe no, even people like her, they still consider USANA talaga as a business to be serious about. And to her right naman si Judge Earl, he's married to Attorney Nol. And the both of them talaga, they're very, very, very serious about this business. And what's the point of me showing you that? So a lot of you, I'm sure your backgrounds may be as far different from network marketing. But guess what, guys? 9 out of 10 of the people who succeeded in USANA, just like me, no, we didn't have strong backgrounds in sales nor in business. But ito, let me go naman to this point. A lot of new distributors, ako kasi I'm really hands-on when it comes to my team. I really make it a point to, as in, meet all the new distributors. And one of the questions I really ask new distributors is this: how do you see yourself in USANA 6 months, a year from now? And usually, the people would always tell me, ako mentor siguro, I'll try the business, I'll give it serious effort, but sige, if it clicks, di good. If not, then okay lang siguro. And largely, no, since I joined USANA, I would attribute this fact to what's happening around us. So a lot of people, ang mindset nila when they start a business like USANA, if it clicks, di good. If not, then I'll just go back to work. If not, anyway, I still have a good source of income. I still have a good corporate career. But you know what, guys? It's okay to be thinking that way. But one of the pitfalls of most Filipinos, bakit tayo in the long run, we really don't prosper, it's really because we're very proactive. We're very reactive to the situation. Diba? Tayo yung, ay mukhang okay na yung mga bagay-bagay, mukhang back to normal na tayo, mukhang tapos na itong epidemic na ito. So, ang problem is, if you're a person that you're oblivious to what's happening outside, it will really catch you unaware. And right now, no, kung titingnan niyo yung mga news, it's not getting any better because there are more and more variants, di ba, yung virus na to? And no one really knows, not even first world countries, not even the United States, not any European country knows when this pandemic will end. So if you're somebody na you joined USANA because you want a good source of income, that's a very good pre-planning on your part. Bakit? Kasi even though sabihin natin you're somebody na you still got to keep your job, you still have a good source of income, di ba, you don't know anong kahihinatnan ng nangyayari sa atin ngayon. Di ba, ang dami-daming businesses nagsasara. There are still employers still trying to make ends meet. Di ba? They don't want to let their employees go. But if this lasts, di ba, for 6 months to a year more, who's to say that you'd still get to keep your job? Di ba? Who's to say that that your employer would still hang on to you? Eh kung walang-wala na talagang pera. And the problem with most Filipinos, di ba, even the NEDA, yung National Economic Development Authority, sinasabi nila a lot of Filipinos, they don't have savings. And that's a very scary thought for most Filipinos. What if wala ka naman palang savings? What if you're a breadwinner? Di ba? What if hindi ka naman pala mayaman? And even if you're a rich person, no, even before joining USANA, di ba, a lot of rich people, yung businesses nila are taking a hit also. Di ba? So it's very good at this point in time for you to really consider an online source of income. Di ba? And just today, I always monitor this. Di ba? We had the highest number of new cases today. And kung titingnan mo, the situation talaga is getting worse by the day. And you really have to have good foresight. Diba? And when I say good foresight, if you would look around you, diba, it's good na meron ka pa rin source of income, whatever that is. Pero right now, you're somebody who should be creating income, leveraging on online opportunities. And when I say online opportunities, I'd only give this example. Diba? Kung titingnan mo yung mga tao right now, they're really leveraging on online to the point na even crematorium binibenta na online. Diba? Kung saan nilalagay yung abo after it cremate, even this, it's being sold on Facebook. Diba? A lot of people, they're selling clothes, they're selling, I don't know, all the stuff na pwedeng ibenta, binibenta na siya online. And a lot of economists are saying 3 to 5 years from now, a lot of new millionaires 3 to 5 years from now would have been the people starting their online businesses today. Diba? And ayaw mo 3 to 5 years from now, ang dami-dami ng taong yumaman sa online business, and ikaw, you started one and you did not push through with it. Because apparently, no, online businesses talaga are really the business, the thriving businesses that will emerge in the future. Ito lang din, no, just to show you, just to underscore the economic phenomenon. Kung titingnan mo, even this Zoom application, diba, this very application that we're using, it has gotten so big. It has eclipsed the value of the top 7 airlines in the world combined. So kung titingnan mo, para saan ba tong Zoom? It's really mainly used to facilitate online business meetings. And you can just guesstimate, no, how much of the business operations have been shifted to online na. So meaning to say, online business na talaga ang way of the future. So kung titingnan mo yung mga brick and mortar stores, di ba? Yung mga store sa mall, mga store sa tabi-tabi, lahat sila nag-shift na sila to online. So ikaw, you're already part of USANA, you already have an online business, di ba? Rather than magligoy-ligoy pa yung isip mo kung saan ka patitingin, maganda, as in, might as well take this seriously. Kasi right now, by starting USANA, actually whether you were entirely sure about it or not, you actually made the right decision. Kasi ano ba yung talagang mag-thrive in the coming years? Health-related businesses and online. So it's really, really perfect that you started. And to get things going, no, this is actually, intro pa lang yun. This is the main start of the training. Ako, I really love starting the training with this quote. This is from Richard Branson. So a lot of people are familiar with him, but there are few na hindi siya kilala. And just to let you know who Richard Branson is, he's actually a European billionaire. And he's very famous for saying this quote. Sabi ni Richard Branson, if somebody offers you an amazing opportunity but hindi mo alam kung ano ba yung opportunity na yan, hindi ko alam anong gagawin, what did Richard Branson advise? I-grab mo na lang muna. And then aralin mo na lang how to do it later. Pero pag nandiyan na yung opportunity, wag mo nang pakawalan. And a lot of you know that's what you did. That's what happened. You were shown USANA, you were 50-50 about it, but just the same, sige, you started. And right now, you're in the middle of learning how to exactly do the business. And when I say do the business, first things first that we need to settle, no? What I want to address is the stupid understanding of Filipinos when it comes to building wealth. And what do I mean by this? It's the concept of Filipinos of saving money. And why do I say it's stupid? It's largely due to the fact, di ba yung in the Philippines, we have this trend, yung mga matatanda or yung friends mo, they would always tell you, uy Ryan, huwag kang masyadong magastos. Mag-ipon ka ng pera. Pag nakaipon ka ng pera, bili ka ng kotse. Uy Ryan, mag-ipon-ipon ka. Pag nakaipon ka, bili ka ng bahay. And I would say it's stupid. It's largely because of this, no? Sabihin na lang natin, you're somebody, you're listening to me this evening, and you're somebody na before USANA, you're not dirt poor naman, na talagang you're able to save money. Sabihin na lang natin, you're somebody na you're able to religiously save like 10,000 pesos a month. In 10,000 pesos a month, if you're somebody who's able to do this, di ba parang wow na, ikaw na talaga. I think in the Philippine setting, for every 1,000 employees, I would guess only about 3 to 5 people would be able to do this. And let's assume you're this person. Diba? 10,000 a month, it seems big. Pero if you were to really quantify it in a year's time, magkano ba ang 10,000 pesos in a month? It's only 120,000 in 1 year. Diba? And angat ka na yan compared sa ibang tao. And how big is 120,000, guys? 120,000 is not too big. Diba? Magkano ang iPhone? 70,000? Di ba? Magkano ang MacBook? 100,000? And there would be people who would come to me, mentor, hindi naman ako maluhong person. Ayoko naman ng MacBook, ayoko naman ng iPhone. O sige, I'll give you that. Not everybody is magastos. Di ba? Not everybody wants to live luxurious lives. That's the truth. But the thing is, even if you save your 120,000, there are contingencies na you cannot refuse. Diba? What if in your family, knock on wood, somebody contracts COVID? Diba? Magkano ang COVID case ngayon? It's like 500,000, 600,000 if you're a serious case. Diba? Even if you have an HMO, magkano lang ba ang coverage ng HMO? 200,000, 300,000? Diba? You're gonna be financially devastated. Isang COVID pa lang yan. What if 3, 5 kayo sa bahay? Diba? And there are so many stories already. Even without me having to tell you, you're aware that this is actually happening around us. And kung titingnan mo, di ba, even if you save like 10,000 a month for 10 years, my God, it's only 1.2 million pesos. Di ba, 1.2 million pesos ngayon, somehow may value pa yan. But 10 years from now, what could you buy with 1.2 million pesos? Di ba, even if you wait 20 years from now, that's only 2.4 million pesos. Di ba, 2.4 million pesos, if you've never held that amount of money before, mukha siyang malaki. Pero you know what, guys? I'm somebody I always look at. Mahilig lang ako tumingin-tingin ng prices. And curiously, no, I was looking at the property prices ng SMDC. Di ba yung mga studio units nila ng mga 18, 20 square meters? Sabi ko, grabe naman, 20 square meters, 4 million pesos. Di ba, 4.5 million pesos. Sabi ko, paano yan? If you're somebody na gusto mong bumili ng studio unit, paano yan? Yung pera mo, 20 years from now pa darating. In 20 years from now, you only have 2.4 million pesos. And even if you had like 4 million pesos today, no, even if you could afford a studio unit, di ba, how is that viable for the average Filipino family? Sabihin na lang natin, you're married, you have 2 kids, may yaya ka. Di ba, 5 kayo, tapos ang studio unit mo is like 20 square meters. Paano yun? Tig 4 square meters kayo. Di ba, hihiga kayo matutulog kayo ng nakahiga. Di ba, hindi nyo kayang matutulog kayo ng nakatayo. Di ba? Hindi nyo kayang humiga with 20 square meters na studio unit. And that practically explains, no, kung titingnan nyo sa Pilipinas, home ownership is very, very low. Di ba? Makikita mo dito, married na, may anak na lahat-lahat, they cannot afford their own house. Di ba? They cannot afford their own property. Di ba? They already have their own kids and they still live with their parents. And as much as these people are hardworking, these people are educated, di ba? How could you afford a house in the Philippines? This is already a case of somebody saving 10,000 pesos a month. Di ba? And in one of my trainings before, live trainings pa, this was before magkaroon ng lockdown, there was somebody, a member of the audience, halos na high blood siya sa akin. Sabi niya, you know what, Ryan, you're very condescending. Sabi niya, not everybody saves that little. Sabi ko, okay sir, in your case, how much are you able to save? Sabi niya, at least I save double than that. And sa loob-loob ko, what's double of 20,000 a month? It's only like 4.8 million pesos in 20 years. Even 4.8 million pesos in 20 years is nothing. Di ba? And malaman-laman ko na lang, dun sa nag-invite sa kanya, he got so offended with what I was saying. It's because kakapasa lang pala niya ng MBA niya in one of the major universities dito sa Pilipinas. And assistant branch manager siya ng bangko. And sabi ko, my God, assistant branch manager na to. And may MBA na to sa lagay na to. And he's only able to save like 20,000 pesos a month. Diba? And this is not bola-bola. This is the economic reality in our country. Diba? And kung titingnan mo, 40,000, even 40,000 a month, savings ha, as in hindi mo nagagalaw, in 10 years, 20 years, ipunin mo. It's only 9.2 million pesos. Diba? And I'm gonna tell you guys, even 9.2 million pesos is so small. Diba? Yung mga nilalike mong mga bahay sa Facebook, yung mga dream destination mo, mga dream houses mo, they don't cost 5, 10, 20 million pesos, guys. Hundreds of millions ang kailangan mo. Diba? And a lot of Filipinos, diba, masipag, matyaga, but they're totally oblivious to this fact. And a lot of new distributors, sasabihin nila, yeah, mentor, I get your point. Yeah, you're trying to entice me to be more serious sa USANA, but the problem is, in USANA kasi kailangan masipag ka dyan, kailangan matyaga ka dyan, otherwise wala naman mangyayari sa'yo. Diba? But if you're thinking that way, better check, diba, your thought process. Kasi kung titingnan mo, diba, for you to work, for you to stick to a particular job for like 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, for you to work for 4 decades of your life, masipag ka talaga dapat, matyaga ka talaga dapat. But the problem is, even if you work for 4 decades, for 5 decades, you still won't be able to achieve all your deepest desires, all your dreams. Diba, ano bang mangyayari if you keep doing what you're doing? Diba, sabi nga nila, if you want to know what the future holds for you, you cannot entirely know for sure. But your economic future would be easy to predict. Diba? How do you predict the future in the corporate? Sabi nila, if you want to know anong kahihinatan mo, tingnan mo ano ba yung salary grade ng boss mo. Diba? Kasi by the time you get promoted, kung magkano lang naman din yung salary grade ng boss mo, more or less it's gonna be the same thing for you. Diba? So if you don't really idolize the lifestyle of your boss, diba, might as well start thinking outside the box. And ito lang no guys, just so you appreciate everything that I just ranted about, I'm gonna give you specific examples para masabi nyo namang hindi ito bola-bola. So on the left side, no, this is a sample house in San Jose del Monte, Bulacan. So this was as of July 31, 2020. How much are houses selling for? Diba? This house, 40 square meters, it's already 5 million pesos. 5 million. What if you're the typical Filipino that the only money that you have is maintaining balance sa bangko? Diba? How could you afford a 5 million peso house? Siguro yung doorknob ma-afford mo. Yung halaman ma-afford mo. Diba? But the house, not really. Diba? And let's talk about kunyari car. The ultimate dream that you have is to be able to afford your own car. Diba? Sabihin na lang natin, let's start with Kia Picanto. Even this is already 600,000 pesos. Diba? And it excludes yung rehistro, it excludes insurance, toll, parking, change oil. Diba? And that's Kia Picanto. It's not a bad car, but I'm sure that's not your dream car. Diba? So, just those two. How would you be able to afford that in the immediate future or in this lifetime? And we made it as visual as we could. Just so you'd really understand the point that I'm trying to make. Let's assume you're Gen Z, you're a fresh college graduate, diba? There's nothing wrong about starting your career or pursuing your passion. But at the end of the day, let's talk about money. Di ba? Hindi naman tayo pwedeng passion lang. We need to think about money. Let's assume na you're a fresh graduate and you get a salary offer of 25, 30,000 a month. Di ba? Good for you. But how big is 25,000 a month sa totoo lang? It seems big numerically sa payslip, di ba? Pero kung titingnan mo in real life, how big is 25,000? So a big part of it, napupunta siya sa cost of living natin, sa food, transportation, internet bill, electric bill, sa rent, sa groceries. Diba? That's why, diba, it's a phenomenon sa Pilipinas. They make a joke out of it. Yung payslip, yung pay mo, nag-slip lang sa kamay mo. Diba? Yung bakit ganun, 25,000 yung salary mo, pero parang feeling mo, palagi kang walang pera. This illustration explains why. Yeah, 25,000 yung job offer sa'yo. 25,000 daw yung salary mo. But that's not your take-home pay. And the problem is, again, with Filipino mindset, if you're starting a corporate career, a lot of your friends, di ba, and family members, they mean well, of course. They would encourage you, ay, it's okay, Ryan. Magtsaga ka lang muna. Ang important, mag-gain ka muna ng experience. Anyway, you'd get promoted. Anyway, at some point, bibigyan ka naman ng salary increase. Yeah, they're telling you the partial truth. But they're not being totally truthful about the whole situation. Diba? What's the whole truth? Yeah, at some point, you're gonna get promoted. At some point, tataas yung salary mo. But as time goes by, and as you grow older, tumataas din yung expenses mo. That's why a lot of people, no, lalo na if you're 40, 50, 60, you're listening to me tonight, you would be able to relate with this. Di ba minsan mapapaisip ka, bakit ganun? Nung 21 ka, you were earning 15,000 a month, hindi cash na. Now you're earning 60, 80, 100,000 a month. Bakit parang sakto lang? Or bakit parang minsan kulang pa? It's largely because of this also. Di ba? Ano ba naman yung expenses mo when you were a fresh grad? Di ba kung fresh grad ka, bigyan mo lang ng siopaw yung mami mo. Masaya na yun sa'yo. Di ba? Ilibre mo lang siya ng Starbucks, matutuwa na yun sa'yo. But if you're already 30 years old, you have your own family and your parents are aging also, di ba? Hindi yan pwedeng abutan mo lang ng 500 pesos. Di ba? Dumadami talaga yung expenses mo whether you like it or not. And sad to say, no, for the Gen Zs right now, for the millennials right now, a lot of economists are referring to us as the sandwich generation. Sabi ng economists, the millennials today, the Gen Zs today, we're really the generations who will suffer financially. And why are they saying this? It's because, sabi nila, if you were to realize it, no, 2 generations ago, yung lolo ng lolo natin, when they got old, alam mo yung when they retired, when they got sick, until they died, even after they died, alam mo yung may pera silang iniwan, they took care of themselves financially. May mga bukid, may mga lupa pa yan na pinamana sa next generation. Pero kung titingnan mo, sabi nila, the people who are about to retire today, they don't have a good financial retirement plan. And the problem is probably, no, it's not your economic reality yet. But there will come a time, yung parents mo, by the time they get sickly, by the time alagain na sila, whether you like it or not, whether you're prepared or not, one day your parents will come to you and they need to be brought to the hospital, they need to be brought to the ER. And you cannot just say, ay sorry mommy, daddy, I don't have money. Diba? Mag-grab na lang kayo sa hospital, bye-bye, see you. Diba? You won't tell your parents that. Kahit wala kang pera ni piso, you're gonna have to bring them to the hospital. You're gonna borrow money. Diba? You're gonna get into debt. While at the same time, you're raising your own kids. You're sending them to school. You're paying for your own house. Diba? You're paying for expenses, but you're also trying to save up some money for a vacation. And how would you be able to afford all those things? Diba? Kung 50, even if 50,000 pa ang sweldo mo. Mahirap talaga ang buhay. Diba? And you know what makes it even more frustrating sa totoo lang? Think of it this way, no? Magkano yung economic investment ng parents mo sa'yo? Just so you could get a college degree. Only for you to end up earning so little. Diba? I don't mean to insult. But at the end of the day, diba, i-total mo, magkano yung ginastos ng parents mo sa'yo? You cannot even ask your parents, mami, magkano ginastos mo sa akin? I'll pay you tomorrow. Di ba? Only few can afford to do that. And the problem now, no, in the corporate career, in the corporate world, sabi nila 20 years ago, 30 years ago, largely, um, 20 years ago, kapag may gustong i-promote sa company, what were the parameters then? Ang parameters lang naman, sino bang matagal na dito? Sino bang loyal dito? Sige, i-promote na yan. Yun lang naman, ganun lang naman ka-competitive dati. But right now, it has become so toxic. Di ba? Ngayon, labanan ng mga master's degrees. Sabi nila, there was a time in the Philippines, no? If you have a masteral degree from UP Lasal, UST, wow, grabe, ang galing mo. But today, even if you have a master's degree from the top 4 universities, so what? Yung kalaban mo nag-masters in Singapore. And even if you're somebody, you were able to get a master's degree from Singapore, so what? Yung isa pang kalaban mo nag-master sa United States. Diba? And even if you get a master's degree from the US, so what? May mga nagma-masters ng Pilipino ngayon sa London. May nagma-masters na sa Italy. Diba? And the funny thing is, when they all come home here, maglalaban-laban sila for a promotion, magkano na lang ba ang promotion ngayon? Is that additional million pesos per month? Is that plus 500,000 per month? Diba? The last time I heard, when people get promoted, siguro plus 5,000, plus 10,000. And ako minsan napapaisip ako, yan na lang ba yung value ng human intellect ngayon? Extra 5,000, extra 10,000. Diba? And the problem is, this is very Filipino. Diba? Pinoy mindset talaga. Once you reach a point in your life na you're starting to get old, nakikita ng friends and family mo, you have kids, and you're not okay financially, ano yung next na bulong sa'yo? Uy, Ryan, mag-Saudi ka kaya? Uy, mag-Canada ka kaya, Ryan? Yung kapitbahay natin, nakabili na ng SUV, nakabili na ng TV, nag-OFW yung anak. Diba? So, that's the knee-jerk response of Filipinos para umasenso to work abroad. And there's nothing wrong with that. Diba? That's really a phenomenon in our country. Diba? As much as 15 million Filipinos out of 111 million Filipinos are not in the Philippines. They're abroad, sending money back home. And kung titingnan mo, there's really nothing wrong going abroad. Diba? If that's the only way you know how para kumita ng pera. But the problem when you go abroad, diba? Yeah, malaki yung kita mo, but the cost of living also is so high. Hindi mo rin ma-enjoy yung life mo. And the problem for most Filipinos, alam mo yun, yeah, you're making a good amount of money, pero largely, alam mo yun, para kang zombie. You're only happy when you're on vacation. You're only alive pagkasama mo yung family mo, which is how often? Once a year, once every 2 years, once every 5 years. A lot of Filipinos nga, kaysa bumiyahe pa uwi, isi-save na lang nila yung money for plane ticket. Diba? And ako, I would never forget, no, one of the earliest mentors I had in USANA mentor nat, sabi niya, yung family daw, it was not designed by the Lord para magkita-kita once a year, once every 2 years, once every 5 years. Sabi niya, yung family daw, it was designed by the Lord to grow old together, to experience life together, to have shared memories together. But of course, that's the ideal thing. Diba? But at the end of the day, money speaks louder. Diba? If you're somebody, you have 2 kids, you're earning 30,000 a month, what dignified life could you afford your family? Diba? That's why you'd really be forced to go abroad. Diba? And the problem is, for most OFWs, yeah, while they're abroad, they have money. And sa awa ng Diyos, marami naman din nakakaipon. Pero, diba, even if you're a Filipino na masinop ka sa pera, you're able to save like 2 million pesos, 3 million pesos. Guys, 2 million, 3 million pesos again is nothing. Diba? Even if you have 2 million, bili ka lang ng lupa, magpatayo ka lang ng bahay, hollow blocks. Diba? Mahina ang 1 million, 1.5 million. Diba? Bumili ka ng kumakarag-karag na second-hand na kotse, magkano yan? 300,000, 500,000. Yun pa lang, would buy 2 million pesos na. Diba? That's why a lot of Filipinos, they'll try to mag-venture ng kung ano-ano dito. Pero you'd notice on the 3rd month or on the 6th month, naghahanap na yan ulit ng contract. Diba? Kasi if you're an OFW, if you're a nurse in New York, you're getting paid like sabihin natin 6,000 a month. You don't come home here, go to St. Luke's and say, St. Luke's, can you pay me $6,000 a month? Kasi that's the salary I'm getting from the hospital in New York eh. Hindi naman ganun yun. If you're a nurse from New York, you come home here, kung 20 mil ang sweldo ng nurse sa St. Luke's, that's how much you get. Di ba? If you're an engineer in Saudi, you earn 200,000 a month. If 20 mil, 30 mil ang sweldo ng engineers dito, hindi ka pwedeng choosy. Di ba? That's why if you're an OFW, you're also in a bind. Right now, you're thriving but not for long. Di ba? You have to think in advance. And you know what, guys? No, in one of the earliest trainings I attended, I would never forget this. Medyo corny siya, pero it really struck me, no? And na-imprint talaga siya sa mind ko. In one of the trainings ng USANA, umupo ako sa harap. And yung speaker, out of the so many people who attended the training, pinatayo niya ako and asked me in front of the crowd. Sabi niya, Ryan, I'll make you an offer. Putulin natin yung smallest finger mo. Babayaran daw niya ako 50,000 pesos. Payag ba daw ako? Sabi ko, of course not. Sa loob-loob ko, is this a joke? Tapos sabi niya, sige Ryan, putulin natin yung smallest finger mo. I'll pay you like 500,000. Payag ka? Sabi ko, syempre hindi. Tapos sabi niya, sige Ryan, final offer. Putulin ko yung smallest finger mo. I'll pay you 1,000,000 pesos. Payag ka? Sabi ko, of course not. Sabi niya, bakit? Sabi ko, this is part of my body. This is part of my being. So even for 1,000,000 pesos, ba't ko naman ibibenta sa'yo? So sabi niya, you know what, Ryan, that's precisely the point. Diba? You would not sell your finger for 1,000,000 pesos. But there are so many people out there, they're selling their whole lives. They're selling their whole selves to companies. They're selling their whole selves to their jobs para sa magkano per month. And again, I used this example naman nung ako na yung nagte-train. In one of my trainings, meron member of the audience, sumirit siya, grabe ka naman mentor, OA naman yan, exag. Pero for me, in essence, totoo naman, di ba, in a week, there are 7 days, Mondays to Fridays, you go to work. Di ba? And after work, it's not as if pupunta kang airport, pupunta ka ng Europe, pupunta ka ng Hong Kong, hindi naman ganun yon. After work, you'll go home. Di ba, magkapahinga ka ng konti, tapusin mo yung whatever leftover work mo. And after that, siguro, nood kang Korean novela, then the following day, you sleep. You sleep kasi the following day, work na ulit. And you do that from Mondays through Fridays. On Saturday, siguro, chill ka, mag-mall ka, you do your errand. Sunday, you go to mass. Di ba, tapos chill na ulit. Because the following day, work na ulit. And you do that practically from what? From age 21 to 65. And imagine this, no? What have you been doing from age 0 to 21? You were being prepared to enter the labor force. You were being prepared for a job. And basically from age 0 to 65, it was all about being employed. Diba? And meron din akong downline before. Sabi niya, mentor, ako naman, I'm saving up for retirement. I'm gonna enjoy my life after retirement. And sa loob-loob ko lang, talaga, you're gonna enjoy life nang may rayuma ka na. Diba? You're gonna enjoy life after 65 years old. Diba? Sabi nga ng NEDA, this is national statistics natin. Less than 10% of the people who retire have money to enjoy life after retirement. Less than 10%. So 9 out of 10 of Filipinos after they retire, they don't have money. Not even to sustain their healthcare. Diba? So that's really the point. Diba? You won't sell your finger for 1,000,000 pesos. And yet, you're selling your whole life, your whole self, to a job that pays you how much per month. Diba? And basically, it's all about, diba? This training is all about, yeah, if you have your job, that's fine. If that's how you make money, that's fine. But at this point in time, you should seriously consider a second source of income. You should consider starting your own business, being your own boss. But let me make this clear, no? In USANA, we don't guarantee naman an income na if you start today, next week, millionaire ka na. Diba? If you sign up for USANA, kahit wala kang gagawin, after a year, you're gonna be a billionaire. We don't say those things. In USANA, just like any other business, you're gonna have to expend serious effort. You're gonna have to give time, commitment. And right now, no, for all the new distributors, something that I want to correct is the try attitude. So what do I mean? A lot of my new distributors kasi, I'm really frustrated with how they think about this business. They would tell me, sige mentor, I'll try USANA for 2 months. If it doesn't work out, I'll quit. Di ba? Yung iba naman, they're more generous with their time. Sasabihin nila, ako mentor, sige, I'll try that for 3 months or 6 months. If nothing happens, I'll quit. But the thing is, when you start a business, you don't think about any business, di ba, ng 2 months, 3 months. If you start any business, you should look at the viability, the feasibility of that business in a 3 to 5 year time frame. Di ba? And let me give you an example. Sabihin natin, you're a new distributor, you signed up in USANA just today, or you signed up in USANA this year, and you're somebody talaga no na you're not good in sales, you don't have good contacts, you feel so awkward about being in a network marketing business, although you're all of those things. On the other hand, no, let's say na you're somebody talaga na you're very serious about the business, talagang you really get your hands dirty and inaaralin mo talaga siya, and you're really gonna push. And sabihin natin, no, a lot of people, there are a good number of people on the 6th month, on the first year, they turn gold director. They're able to hit like $1,000 weekly. Let's assume you're not that brilliant. Let's assume you're a person na who's not that talented. But just the same, because of your hard work, somehow you're able to reach $100 per week. And let's assume this is your average on your first year. Kung titingnan mo, $100 a week, in 1 year, how much is that? That's 254,000 potential income. Again, I'm not saying na wala kang gagawin. I'm not saying magtutulog-tulugan ka dito. What I'm saying is if you take this seriously, you really give your heart out dito and you really expend serious efforts, that's 250,000 in 1 year. Diba? But let me dampen your excitement again. 250,000, walang kwenta yan. Diba? It sounds big. Wow, grabe, 250,000. But sa totoo lang, even if you have 250,000, wala ka namang mabibiling matino sa 250,000. Diba? Siguro cellphone, makabili ka. Pero bahay, kotse, travel, 250,000 is nothing. But then again, diba, if you're willing to do overtime, if atat na atat ka sa mid-year bonus, atat na atat ka sa 13th month pay, I'm sure 250,000 comparably is much bigger than a 13th month bonus or a mid-year bonus. Diba? And on the second year, no, sabihin natin yung iba, they're able to hit like Ruby Director, Diamond Director. Again, our assumption is you're not brilliant, you're not talented. On your second year, somehow you're still struggling. To the point na yung iba, nagto $2,000 a week na, ikaw you're only averaging like $200 a week. Again, with serious effort. But now, you make $500,000 per year on average. Diba? Ngayon, kung titingnan mo, $500,000 in 1 year, sa totoo lang, it's still not life-changing. It's still barya. For me, it's still walang kwenta. Diba? If you joined USANA to change your life, you earn $500,000 per month, sorry to burst your bubble, but it's still not a life-changing amount. But then again, let me share this with you. A lot of new distributors in USANA, they join here, and you would hear a lot of terrible side comments from the people around you. Alam mo yung sasabihin nila, uy Ryan, ba't ka naman nagpa-auto sa USANA? Ba't ka naman nag-join sa mga ganyan-ganyan? And the problem with most Filipinos, they really don't understand what this business has to offer. And what do I mean by this? Kung titingnan mo, no, if you tell your friends, sasabihin mo, uy guys, you know what? I started my own mineral water station. I started my own barbershop. I started my own grocery store. How would most of your friends react? Wow, Ryan, ang galing. Big time na yung kaibigan ko. But ito no, from personal experience ko last year, I had a good friend. Kinukulit ko itong mag-USANA since 2009. And last year, sabi ko, approach ko to ulit, lalo na mga lockdown. And sabi ko, last year, binago ko yung style ko. Sabi ko, instead of trying to excite him to join, sabi ko sa kanya, uy, you know what, maganda nga mag-USANA ka para meron kang second source of income, para whatever happens, you're good. And after telling my friend that, he got so offended. Sabi niya, you know what, Ryan, kahit naman mag-lockdown, I'm okay. Yung business ko naman hindi affected. And I totally forgot. Yung business nga naman kasi ng friend ko is mineral water station. And out of the blue, hindi ko naman siya tinatanong. Sabi niya, kahit pa paano naman, Ryan, nagpa 5,000 a day naman ako sa mineral water station. And ako, I was surprised. Sabi ko, 5,000 a day, 150,000 a month. Sabi ko, magbukas nga ako ng 5 ganyan. Sa loob-loob ko, no? Tapos tinanong ko siya, sabi ko, wait lang. Yung 5,000 a day mo ba, is that gross income? Benta ba yan or kita? Is that gross or net income? Sabi ko, magkano yung kita mo after ibawas mo yung rent, yung tao, yung other overhead expenses mo? Sabi niya, he nets about 700 to 1,000 pesos a day. And I did quick math in my head. Sabi ko, 700 to 1,000 a day. Magkano yun? 20 to 30,000 a month. Eh, ang kwento niya sa akin, namuhunan daw siya ng 850,000 for a mineral water station. And sa loob-loob ko, my God, kung susugal ka ng 850,000 for a mineral water station para kumita ng 20 mil, 30 mil, ay magtrabaho ka na lang. Hindi ka pa mamumuhunan ng 800,000. Diba? And that's the problem. If you go out there and tell your friends you opened a mineral water station, diba? May 500 likes ka instant sa Facebook. Diba? Proud na proud sa'yo yung mga kaibigan mo. But they're not aware, magkano lang ba ang kita sa mineral water station? Magkano lang ba ang kita sa laundry shop? Di ba? Tandaan mo, you have to be clear about this. You don't start a business to impress people. You start a business to make money, to earn money. And if your goal is to earn money, di ba, the potential income USANA is comparable or even greater than what traditional businesses could offer you. Di ba? Sabihin natin, on your third year sa USANA, you start averaging $400 a week. Di ba? How much is that? That's already ₱1,000,000 a year. Di ba? And kung titingnan mo, ₱1,000,000 a year, tinalo mo na ang mineral water station. Tinalo mo na yung mga maliliit na grocery store sa tabi-tabi. And magkano lang ba yung nilabas mo dito? Di ba? So, kung titingnan mo, this business talaga, kung titingnan mo yung capital mo, it's very small, but the income, if you would really take this seriously, you could really earn a lot from this. But of course, with much effort, with much commitment, and you'd really have to give time sa business na to. And ngayon, there are a lot of new distributors din. Ako, this took me a very long time. To be honest, diring-diri ako sa network marketing. Parang talaga ba, networking na lang yung career ko. And a lot of you, no, feeling, I can relate na ganyan din. And I have a lot of downlines. They would come to me, ako mentor, I get your point. Maganda naman talaga mag-business. Pero for some reason, ayoko talaga ng USANA. Gusto ko talaga traditional business. Sige, I'll give you that. Ayaw mo ng USANA, feeling mo jologs to. Sige, fine. Let's entertain your idea na mag-traditional business ka kaysa USANA. So, first things first, no, sabihin natin about traditional business. Hindi ito yung magbebenta ka ng kung ano-ano sa Facebook, tapos tutubo ka ng 20 pesos. So, think about a traditional business that could net income, 100,000 pesos per month. It's so difficult to think about any business na kikita ka ng 100,000 pesos a month. In the thing about traditional business, kung sa USANA, ngumangawa ka na sa 40,000 na nilabas mo, di ba yung, oh my God, paano babalik yung 40,000 ko? Mas mag-heart attack ka sa traditional business. Sabihin natin ang passion mo is restaurant or coffee shop. Di ba? If you were to start your own restaurant in the middle of the lockdown, di ba medyo stupid lang? Pero sabihin na lang natin, matigas yung ulo mo. You're a rich person, you have a lot of money to burn, mag-open ka ng restaurant today din. Diba? But the thing about starting a restaurant, mag-cash out ka ng 2 million pesos, you're definitely not gonna recoup your money after a month. Hindi mo mababawi yung pera mo in 3 months. If you opened a restaurant before COVID, ang usual ROI ng restaurant, guys, if in case you're unaware, it takes as long as 4 to 7 years if patok yung restaurant mo. If palpak, goodbye 2 million pesos. And a 2 million peso budget for a restaurant business, it's not Italianis level. Kachipan restaurant yan. Di ba? Mga inasal lang yan sa tabi-tabi. And the risk is so high. Even a coffee shop. Mali nga yung gumawa ng slide na to eh. Di ba? Wala namang coffee shop na 600,000. Magkano ang mga machines? Di ba? That's like 500,000. And asa ka pa. nakikita ang coffee shop mo ngayon. Yung Starbucks nga, Coffee Bean nga, ilan na ang nagsara. And I have lots of downlines din. They would always tell me, ako mentor, ultimately, ang goal ko naman talaga is to have passive income. Okay naman yung USANA, but I think I could earn passive income naman din in other businesses. Yung talagang walang gagawin, mag-collect lang ako ng money. And I asked them, what sort of business do you have in mind? And itong mga downlines ito, they would tell me, ang ultimate goal ko, mentor, is to acquire rental properties. O di ba ang talino, rental properties? But the thing about rental properties is this, no? If in case you did not do the math yet, sabihin na lang natin, you're listening to me and you're a cash-rich person, yung tipong may 15 million pesos ka dyan sa kama mo, bukas na bukas din, bumili ka ng lupa, di ba, patayuan mo ng 3-door apartment. But the problem is, kung magpatayo ka ng 3-door apartment, 15 million pesos lang yung capital mo, hindi yan yung high-end. Ang rent niyan, katsipan din. Di ba? Hindi mo yan mapaparent ng 100,000 per month. Siguro maparent mo yan mga 20,000 per unit. So if you have a 3-door apartment, 20,000 times 3 units, that's only 60,000 per month. Times 12 months on average, that's 700,000 per year. In 10 years, that's only 7 million. In 20 years, that's only 14 million. In 20 years. Assuming na hindi masisira, wala kang ipaparepair. Assuming na in 20 years, lahat magbabayad. Assuming na in 20 years, fully occupied yung apartment mo. Diba? And the question number 1, do you have 15 million pesos today? So if you have 15 million pesos today, can you wait 20 years for you to get your money back? Diba? It's really true. There are lots of rich families in the Philippines na talagang, alam mo yung bukid nila sa probinsya, ginawang special economic zone, nirentahan ng multinational companies. Diba? There are people na they have like 10 houses in Forbes Park, diba? 10 condominiums, pinaparent nila. And that's how they live. Talagang rental income lang. But the thing about these people, diba? Hindi ito Pinoy middle class na OFW na pagbalik sa Pilipinas, bumili ng benting bahay. Diba? Hindi ito call center agent na bumili ng 30 na condominium. If you're Pinoy middle class, siguro ultimately, no, you could afford your own house. And siguro kung sobrang galing mo talaga, you can afford siguro an extra condominium for rental. But it's impossible in this lifetime for you to acquire like 20 houses na paparentahan mo at doon ka talaga mabubuhay. Diba? It's very, very difficult. Ngayon, there are lots of Filipinos today din. Diba ito yung mga maririnig mo mukhang bibig ng mga Gen Zs and millennials. Sasabihin nila, ako mentor, I want to build my wealth naman through stock market investing or whatever digital investing that they're doing. And ako naman, I'm really not against it. Actually, okay naman yung mga stock market investing. But the thing is, I ask these people, how much do you actually invest in the stock market? And itong mga brilliant people na kausap ko, ang binibigay nilang figure sa akin, mentor, I invest mga 10,000 a month. And sa loob-loob ko, 10,000 pesos a month. In 1 year, 120K lang yan. The brilliant stock market brokers, yung talagang binabayaran ng pension funds, binabayaran ng mutual funds ng bangko, on a good year, di ba, when the economy is really performing well, ang average return nila is 20% on a good year. What's 20% of 120,000? That's only 24,000. Magbabayad ka pa ng capital gains tax. Di ba? So yung 24,000 na tinubo mo, 20,000 na lang. What will you do with 20,000? Paano kaya yaman sa stock market? It's really true again. In the Philippines, globally, there are rich people na wala silang ginawa kundi maglaro ng stocks nila. But these are people who invest siguro by the millions of pesos, millions of dollars. They'll invest 100 million pesos, tubo sila ng 1%, they'll have 1 million pesos instantly. But if you're somebody na you're hedging your life savings sa mga Sun Life, True Life, di ba, whatever insurance or whatever funds, even if you invest like 5,000 pesos a month, my God, after 10 years, after 20 years, what if mag-crash ang stock market? Di ba? How could you bet your whole life on stock market investing? Diba? You could do that with your spare money, but you cannot build your wealth through stock market investing na 5,000 lang ang pinapasok mo. 'Di ba? Better pa isang mo yung bahay mo tapos magsugal ka ng 10 million sa stock market. Yun, may chance ka pa. But otherwise, if you're the average investor, you're wasting your time. 'Di ba? And right now, what's the ultimate point that I want to make sa mga bago? USANA is actually a very good business. I would say, no, based on my 12 years experience in USANA, this is actually the best business you could entertain. Why? Because number one, this is a business that you could do part-time. So a lot of you have jobs, you have your small business that you're depending on for your day-to-day. So we understand, we respect, those are things na hindi mo naman kaya i-let go bigla-bigla. And that's the beauty about a USANA business. Ito, you can do this on top of your job. You can do this on top of your existing business. Hindi mo kailangan mag-resign. You can start part-time. Guys, when you open a restaurant, hindi pwedeng part-time. When you open a computer shop, hindi pwedeng part-time. Stock market investing nga, kung seryoso ko dyan, hindi yan pwedeng part-time. Dapat mag-resign ka. Diba? USANA, this is something you could do part-time. Secondly, ito small capital lang. I understand a lot of you are panicking about the 27,000, 47,000 na nilabas mo dito. Pero masanay ka na guys, compared to traditional business, but the amount of money involved here is actually comparably small. Mas mahal pa ang iPhone. Diba? And thirdly, there's a system in place. Diba? We have all sorts of training. So a lot of you're worried, what if hindi ko mabenta yung products? I don't know how to sell. I don't know how to approach people. I really don't know how to do this business. Guys, marami tayong trainings. Ituturo sa'yo step by step by step. And lastly, no, what really amazes me about USANA, we're 100% tax compliant. What do I mean by this? As a distributor, eventually, once you start consistently making money, you will be asked by USANA to file your receipts. So, kailangan mo mag-issue sa USANA. In bawat team, meron tayong system paano ka makakakuha ng receipts mo. But why is that an upside? Kung titingnan mo, the income that you would generate sa USANA, since you pay taxes for it, when you apply for a bank loan, when you apply for a visa or whatever institution, no, when you show them your USANA income, it's totally legit because it's reported to the BIR. So they would look at your USANA income as equally the same way as how they look at the income of traditional businesses. So when you start a network marketing business with USANA, it's as legitimate as starting a traditional business because we're 100% tax compliant. And ngayon, no, let's go to the part, out of all the businesses that you could entertain, bakit ka nga ba nakikisiksik sa network marketing? So let's deal with this. Di ba in the Philippines, when we talk about network marketing, it's largely taboo. Parang feeling ng mga tao, scammer ka. Feeling ng mga tao, alam mo yung it's a pyramiding thing. So let's talk about network marketing as an industry. So kanina, I started my training with a quote from Richard Branson. So right now, what I'm about to show you is a short video clip. This is an interview with Richard Branson. He was asked by the reporter, ikaw Richard Branson, considering your stature as a business person, what do you think about network marketing? Is it a scam? Jologs ba yan? Jejemon ba yan? Is it something you would tell people to avoid? Or is that something you would actually advise people to consider? And you know what? This is what Richard Branson had to say about it. So listen to this, guys.
Talk about this audience, the network marketing community. There's about 100 million people around the world that are engaged in this. It does approximately $200 billion a year in revenue. It's growing, it's expanding, and these home-based entrepreneurs are looking for a better life for their families. Do you think it's a good idea for a person to get involved in network marketing and
yeah, I mean, I think we were involved with network marketing once with a cosmetics company in the UK, and we would have a dinner every year with all these young entrepreneurs from all over the country, and they were sometimes they were a mum with children who wanted to make some money on the side, and sometimes they were relying on it completely, for their living. And it was tremendous seeing the enthusiasm, how much it transform their lives, and what a difference it made to them. So I'm a tremendous believer in network marketing, and I'm a great believer in entrepreneurs. I think all the future jobs in the next 20 or 30 years will be created by network marketing entrepreneurs and other entrepreneurs around the world, starting off from scratch or starting off very small and making a real difference in the world.
So guys, it's so interesting, no? For a man like Richard Branson, he actually espouses the idea na yung mga tao should seriously consider network marketing. And how credible is Richard Branson? Richard Branson, if you're not familiar with him, no, if you would do a Google search, this is what would come out. So si Richard Branson is actually worth $4.5 billion. He actually owns 400 companies, most prominently yung Virgin Galactic, he owns that. And kung titingnan mo, no, siya, a person like him, he sees the brilliance of this business model. And even siya, he was involved in network marketing at some point. And right now, I clearly know there's really nothing to be ashamed about it. Although maraming mga tao, they're quite negative about it. Pero sabi nga nila, at the end of the day, if you want to succeed in a particular field, you should start taking the advice of successful people. Diba? Kasi sometimes you'd listen to your family, you'd listen to your friends. But then again, if you're starting in business, if you want to succeed in business, listen to successful business people. And right now, no, to further educate you about the industry, ako when I was shown this, dito ako na-shock. Sabi ko, ganun pala kalaki yung direct selling industry. To the point that it's actually bigger than the movie industry. It's even bigger than the music industry. Diba? And akala ko before yung network marketing was a fly-by-night thing, was a business sa tabi-tabi. But if titingnan mo yung global stats about it, diba? Network marketing, direct selling is such a huge industry. Not only in the Philippines, not only in third world countries, it's popular in the Netherlands, in Germany, diba? In the United States, in London, in the UK. So another prominent voice, no, incredible voice, who's endorsing network marketing is Paul Zane Pilzer. So si Paul Zane Pilzer, he's a prolific writer, he's a well-respected economist, and he's popular also in the direct selling industry for saying this. Sabi niya, direct selling is just like starting a traditional business pero walang sakit sa ulo. And he's really correct in saying this. Imagine mo to, no? If you start a restaurant, alam mo yung hindi ka pa nagsisimula, ang dami mo na kaagad sakit sa ulo. Hindi ka pa nagsisimula, iisipin mo, anong ulam ibebenta ko? Adobo, anong recipe? Saan ako bibili ng manok? Saan ako bibili ng pork? Who's the supplier of bawang, of sibuyas, di ba? Of whatever. Gano'ng kalaki yung ref? Paano mag-tie up sa Grab? Gano'ng kalaki yung restaurant? What's the color of the plato? Anong kulay ng table? Diba? So all those things, iniisip mo na siya and hindi ka pa nagsisimula. And ang problem with traditional business, yun, ang laki-laki ng sugal na kapital. Diba? But whereas with a direct selling business, whereas with USANA, it's very, very simple. Diba? Yung tipong na-invite ka ng alas 8 ng umaga, pagdating ng alas 10, business person ka na kaagad after 2 hours. And kaya nga, diba, a lot of people, they would refer to network marketing as budol-budol na 1, 2, 3. Diba? You could look at it negatively. Diba? Parang nga naman talagang 1, 2, 3. But on the other hand, diba, it's actually a cool business. Diba? Kaysa sumakit yung ulam mo, sa USANA, it's simple. If you like it, buy products, automatically, you already have a business. And that's the cool thing about direct selling. And right now, if you're the new person here, diba, you should be able to discern yung mga advices na naririnig mo. Take for example, no, this was last year also. I had a friend, he joined USANA last year. So he joined under me. So itong friend ko na to, after signing up, he was so enthusiastic about it. Talagang lahat ng trainings namin sa team, ina-attendan niya. And on the first week, as in, he was very, very active. After like a week, this friend of mine, medyo nagbago ng mood. On a random day, he calls me up. Sabi niya, ay Ryan, yung cousin ko pala already joined USANA like 2 years ago. Sabi ko, o tapos, sabi niya, ano daw ang hirap daw, wala daw nangyari sa kanya. Sabi ko, o tapos, sabi niya, baka hindi ko kayanin. mahirap daw kasi sabi ng cousin ko eh. Well, sabi ko sa kanya, yeah, cousin mo yun, iba ka naman. And anyway, I'm the one working with you now. Let's just do it step by step. But after that call, sadly, itong friend ko, nag-disengage siya sa USANA. Until this very day, that I don't understand. Parang, you want to succeed in business, why would you consult somebody who failed in business or he did not work hard enough to succeed in business? It's comparably like seeking advice from a restaurant owner. Nag-open kang restaurant and you approach a restaurant owner na na-bankrupt and you ask this guy, hi sir, paano ba na-bankrupt yung restaurant mo? Can you teach me your techniques? Diba? Can you teach me about business? So at the end of the day, if you joined USANA, common sense, you should ask your coaches or your mentors who succeeded in USANA. As much as the people around you, diba, they may have their insights, they may have their comments, their reservations about it. But if you want to succeed here, huwag kang makinig sa mga tao sa labas. Makinig ka sa mga taong successful sa business. Sasabihin nila brainwashing. But at the end of the day, ba't ka nga magpapabrainwash sa walang alam sa business? Magpa-brainwash ka dun sa, di ba, marunong magnegosyo. So it's so weird. I really don't understand people like that who will seek advice from people na hindi naman involved sa negosyo niya. And well, marami ding nagsasabi, 'di ba, economists, sinasabi nila a lot of Filipinos, they really find it difficult to succeed in business. Bakit? They take the advice of people close to them na wala namang alam sa negosyo. And that's very Filipino. 'Di ba? That's our culture. Makikinig tayo sa people close to us, although they're not really experts in the topic. Diba? So right now, if you want to succeed here, you have to be clear about that. Ask people who are credible in the field na pinasok mo. And speaking of credibility, no, what makes USANA different from yung mga jegemon, mga scam sa tabi-tabi? Fundamentally speaking, it's largely due to the fact the owner of USANA, hindi siya yung katsipan na negosyante na naghanap ng generic, nagpa-repack, nagpa-rebrand, nagpa-advertise sa mga artista. So the founder of USANA, he's really a research scientist by profession. Well, you were already told that when you were still guests. I don't want to focus that on tonight, no? Tonight, what I want you to focus on this slide, diba, there are 4 books. On top of those 4 books, may mga bilog-bilog na yan. Ano yung mga bilog-bilog na yan? That I believe is not usually discussed. Those bilog-bilog are third-party certifications from third-party institutions from Europe, from Canada, from Australia. Diba? And what do they attest to? They attest mainly to 2 things. Number 1, they attest to the fact that whatever USANA claims to contain on the label, yun at yun ang laman of each and every tablet of USANA. So when we say USANA is a good brand, USANA is a brand that could be trusted, USANA is the best vitamin brand, those are not marketing spills. Those are third-party attestations coming from third-party institutions. Diba? So kung yung kapitbahay mo, sasabihin niya, ay, hindi siya believe sa USANA, who's more credible? Your kapitbahay or third-party institutions from Europe? Diba? You can, if you don't take my word for it, take a screenshot of this, search mo what those companies do. Diba? Ano yung mga certifications that they issue. And interestingly, USANA did not get just 1, 2, they got 8 certifications. Diba? And unlike Philippines, na yung mga certifications dito gawa sa recto, those certifications are really credible. Diba? And it's so amazing. So many Olympic athletes, diba? They don't use any other multivitamin brands. They only trust USANA. And ang USANA, we're not fans of yung mga celebrity endorsers. Here's 5 million pesos. Can you tell your followers na you trust USANA, you like USANA? Diba? Hindi ganun ka-cheap ang USANA. Talagang it's really organic and people really just trust the brand. We love the brand. And kung titingnan mo, considering the quality of the products, it's so shocking gaano ka-affordable yung products natin. A lot of new distributors, they're panicking. My God, sino bibili ng vitamins na to? 3,000 pesos, 5,000 pesos. Pero guys, computin mo yan per tablet. It's cheaper than the ones being sold in drugstores or comparable. Diba? There are products even cheaper. And there are products na kung titingnan mo, they're slightly more expensive, pero the quality talaga super layo. And that's why, no, kung titingnan mo, products-wise, personally, you really have a lot to benefit from it. And if you're somebody, you're worried about being able to sell your products, later I'll give you a training schedule and you could attend trainings on what the products are for and how to actually sell them. But tonight, we're now at the point wherein we're about to discuss how do you make money. Diba? Ang dami-dami kong sinasabi tonight. Paano na nga ba kumita sa USANA? So this part is very, very important for you to understand because I really believe it's very difficult to be serious in something na hindi mo naman naiintindihan. So I understand, medyo mahaba yung training natin tonight, but this part, you really need to pay close attention to. So first things first, no, how do you earn money sa USANA? You earn money through mainly retail. So I have good news. When you signed up for USANA, lahat ng pinagbibili mong products, 20% discounted na yun. So meaning to say, when you sell all your products, ROI ka na. And when you sell them nang may nag-markup ka, not only do you get your money back, ROI ka na kaagad. So I'll give you an example. So itong flagship product natin, the multivitamins, we call it the Cell Essentials. So it's always sold as a pair. The green bottle contains the vitamins, the blue bottle contains the minerals. Di ba mukha siyang mahal? It's 3,900 pesos. But it could last the user for as long as 4 months, 16 weeks. And just to give you a point of comparison, di ba? Again, disclaimer, I'm not bashing the other brands. I'm just making a price comparison, no? Sabihin natin, you don't like USANA, hindi ka believe sa USANA, and you wanna go to a local drugstore and ayaw mong mag-shift. You just want to stick to the brand that you're already taking. So, sabihin natin you buy a multivitamin brand starting with letter C. Diba? But the problem is, when you buy that vitamin, it doesn't contain anything good for your eyes. So, you're gonna have to buy a separate tablet just for your eyes. And you're gonna have to buy a separate tablet for your liver. You're gonna have to buy a separate tablet just to make your skin glowing. And how much would that cost you? That would cost you 80 pesos per day. And versus, kung titingnan mo, the 17 pesos per tablet of USANA. So comparably, kung titingnan mo, that's what I mean by it's much, much cheaper to just use USANA rather than yung mga whatever it is na binibenta sa drugstore and you're not even sure about the quality. And the good news is, again, if you're a distributor, you got it cheap. Di ba? Hindi ka naman bumili ng Cell Essentials na 3,900. You got your Cell Essentials for how much? You got it for 3,250. So for every pair that you sell, you profit about 650 pesos. So this is for the Philippine setting. But I understand we have distributors in Canada, in the United States, in Australia. Diba? So USANA has local price lists also in your country. Pero the concept is the same. You buy products cheap and you sell them for a profit. So that's how the retail income works. So this is the main way of earning. So second way to earn is what we call weekly commissions. Weekly commissions. So obviously, common sense. This is something that you could earn every week. So for you to earn from the weekly commissions, first thing that you have to keep in mind, when is the cut-off every single week? So the cut-off every single week, if you're based in the Philippines, it's Saturday, 1:59 p.m. 1:59 p.m. So what happens pagdating ng Saturday, 1:59 p.m.? USANA would start computing our weekly commissions. So how does this work? So for you to appreciate this better, let's go back to the part when you were still guests. Diba, you were being made to choose. Would you want to get 1 business center or 3 business centers? Would you want to start with 500 points or 300 points? So let's first discuss what happens to the weekly commissions if you're somebody who started with 1 business center. So take a look at this. No? If you started with 1 business center, your account would look something like this. So when you log into your USANA account, lalabas dyan Ryan001. So how do you earn weekly commissions? It's very, very simple. For you to earn weekly commissions, all you need to do is to build a team on your left and a team on your right side. So paano yun? Sabihin natin, ako Ryan, I'm based in Metro Manila and I have a friend based in London and he wants to join in USANA United Kingdom. So sabihin natin, itong kaibigan ko sa USANA United Kingdom wants to get a total of 500 points from USANA United Kingdom. So I have the prerogative, it's my choice kung ilalagay ko yung friend ko sa left or right side. So let's assume in this scenario, I opt to put my friend on the left side. So sabihin natin, yung friend ko na yan, naka-purple, meron auntie based in Germany. And yung auntie niya based in Germany wants to join sa USANA Germany and wants to get 500 points also. So this friend of mine na naka-purple signs up the auntie based in Germany under him. So basically, all the products that they would be buying are all counted towards my left side. So lahat ng bibilhin nila lifetime towards my left. What if silang dalawa, they refer other people pa? So the referral of the referral of the referral of the referral of my sponsor, lahat yan points ko. And on the right side, it's the same. I'm based in Metro Manila, but if I have a friend in Tuguegarao, in Tawi-Tawi, in Basilan, wherever they sign up, pwede ko silang ilagay sa right side ko. And pagdating ng Saturday, 1:59 p.m., di ba, titingnan lang ng system, ilan yung points sa left, ilan yung points sa right side. So in this hypothetical situation, merong 1,000 points sa left, 1,000 points sa right side. Ang weekly commissions ng USANA, ang usapan dito, ano man yung points na mag-match, times 20%, that's the commission in US dollars. So in this case, 1,000 times 20%, that's $200 in 1 week. So this is a sample computation of a weekly commission kapag one business center ka. So ngayon, the question is, mentor, ako I did not start with one business center. I started with 3 business centers. So how does this work? So if you have 3 business centers naman, you have 3 accounts. So when you log into your USANA account, you would see there Ryan 001, Ryan 002, 003. So noticeably, it's the same. There are also 4 people na nag-join in this situation. But notably also, kung titingnan mo yung 4 na nag-join, they were placed on the left and right of 002 and 003. So as 002 and 003 are different entities versus 001, kung titingnan mo yung income mo, iba yung income ni 001, you potentially could also make commissions from 002, and you could also potentially make income sa 003. That's why put side by side, diba, same effort, meaning you try to get 4 people, 500 points each. If you got 1 business center, the maximum income that you could draw from it is $200. Whereas if you started with 3 business centers, the maximum income you could make out of this is $400. That's why when you were still a guest, di ba, you were being pushed na as much as you can, kung kaya mo, mag-start ka ng 3BC. Now you understand why. It's because the income potential is really much, much greater. Ngayon, I have good news naman. If you started with 1 business center, you have the option of upgrading it to 3 business centers. So there's a way of doing that. But I will leave that to your coach or mentor to discuss to you the specifics. Paano yan i-upgrade?
Hi Ryan, sorry to interrupt. Can we reshare your screen? Kasi may naka-block. Thank you.
Ayan. Ayan, ma'am.
Unshare mo muna. Ano muna?
Ayan, ma'am.
Stop share muna. Tapos balik ka ulit. There, thank you.
Ayan, ma'am. Better na ba? Hello?
Ayan, konti na lang yung naka-block. Meron daw gagawin, alisin yung optimize for video if you still have a chance. But otherwise, better yan kesa last time. Thank you.
Ayan.
Yay! Thanks.
So going back, I will leave it to your coach or mentor on your coach or mentor to discuss with you the specifics on how to upgrade your account from 1 business center to 3 business centers. But you have to take note, there's a deadline for that. So kung nag-start ka ng one business center, you really have to be mindful about the deadline. So that's all about the weekly commissions. And now let's go to the matching bonus. So this is the third way of earning in USANA. By the name itself, no, matching bonus. So it means, pag sinabi nating bonus, pwedeng ibigay, pwedeng hindi, pwedeng you're entitled to it, pwedeng hindi. Depending on what? Depending on the status of your account. So what should be the status of your account to be matching bonus eligible? So for you to enjoy this very generous bonus from USANA, the status of your account should be what we consider Premier Platinum Pay Setter. Again, Premier Platinum Pay Setter. Or the shorthand we have for this is PPPS para hindi ka na mabulol. So if you're new, masanay ka na, kukulit-kulitin ka ng upline mo. Uy Ryan, done ka na ba sa PPPS mo? Ilan na lang kulang mo for PPPS? Let's go finish your PPPS na. Diba? So kung titingnan mo, bakit ka kukulitin about PPPS? Because there's a time limit to it. So you only have 56 days to qualify for PPPS. But don't panic because sobrang dali lang niya. So how do you actually qualify for PPPS? You only need to get like 4 people to sign up in the business, at least 4 people who will buy at least 1,600 points. So what if you have like 4 friends, and the 4 friends that you have, they want to get 500 points each. So 4 times 500, that's already 2,000 points. So automatically, you're already PPPS. But what if naman you get like 4 people and all of them, they buy 300 points each? So 1,200 points lang yun. So yes, you were able to qualify for the 4-person requirement, but kulang ka sa 1,600 points. So what can you do? You can sponsor a 5th, a 6th, a 7th, an 8th person. Basta matapalan mo yung 1,600 points. And technically speaking, no, USANA is actually giving you 56 days to hit PPPS. So kung bibilangin mo yan sa calendar, 56 days is equivalent to 8 weeks. But in USANA Philippines right now, no, we're trying to create this culture na bawal tamad-tamad dito, na on your first 2 weeks, dapat you're done with PPPS already. Kasi yung iba, a lot of people, no, what they do, they would finish PPPS after, as in sasagarin nila yung 8 weeks. And for me, having mentored a lot of people already, that's so wrong. Bakit? If you get 4 people in 8 weeks, that's like getting 1 person every 2 weeks. Parang getting 2 business partners every month. So okay lang naman, pero para kang hindi nag-business, para kang nagtamad-tamaran. 'Di ba? Nagbagal-bagal ka. So for me, if you're starting a business, alam mo yung you should start it on the right foot. So meaning to say, if your goal is to hit PPPS, on your first week, get 2 people. On your second week, get 2 people. Then you're already done with PPPS. Diba? Hindi yung you're given 8 weeks and sinagad mo yung 8 weeks. And ako pa naman, I'm a great believer in the saying, the beginning of any task shall affect its outcome more than anything else. The beginning of any task shall affect its outcome more than anything else. Meaning to say, kung paano mo sisimulan yung isang bagay, it would largely affect ano yung outcome ng bagay na sinimulan mo. So, meaning to say, kung mag-business ka, di ba, dapat all out ka kaagad. Hindi ka pwedeng teka-teka when you're starting this. And let's discuss, no, ano ba yung benefit if you're able to hit matching bonus? If you're able to qualify for the matching bonus because you were able to hit the PPPS status. Let's assume you're able to sponsor 4 people, and the 4 people that you got, of course, they also have their own USANA accounts. Of course, they can also participate in the compensation plan. Pwede rin silang kumita every week. Ngayon, provided na yung 4 na na-sponsor mo, they're also PPPS. Take a look at this. Hypothetically speaking, sabihin natin yung 4 mo na yan, they earn $400, $600, $200, $800 in 1 week. So, in total, how much do they earn collectively? They earn a total commission of $2,000. If you're PPPS, whatever your sponsors earn, provided that they're also PPPS, you make a 15% matching bonus from them. So, kung titingnan mo, it's so interesting, yung pakanan ng USANA. ang gusto nila dito, tulungan mo yung sponsors mo. Ang gusto ng USANA, tulungan ka ng person na nag-sponsor sa'yo. Bakit? Because the more you earn, the more matching bonus your sponsor will earn. And it's also the same with you. The more you help your sponsors earn, the more matching bonus you will get from them. So that's why yung PPPS mo, you can do without it. Pwede naman mag-retail income ka lang, pwede naman mag-weekly commissions ka lang, but down the road, no, it's so unpredictable. Possibly, you could end up sponsoring somebody who makes $1,000 per week. If they make $1,000 per week and you're entitled to 15% match, from that person, you could get a matching bonus of $150. But if you're not PPPS, you forgo the chance to earn $150. So dito, as I've said, di ba, yung PPPS, that's something na you should really aim to finish in a span of 2 weeks' time. So after this training, although it's quite late already, di ba, I want you to take time to call your coach or mentor. Coach, sabi kailangan daw mag-PPPS in 2 weeks. What do I need to do? And the people naman you're working with, they're enthusiastic naman to work with you, to teach you paano ba mag-PPPS. Di ba? Pero yun lang, you really have to be serious about it. And fourthly, this is the last way of earning that I want to discuss tonight. Other than this, we also have other bonuses. We also have numerous other travel incentives, pero wag na natin kayong i-bombard. So let's stop here. And it's also a very big bonus, sa totoo lang. It's what we call the auto-order bonus. So what's the auto-order bonus all about? It's a bonus that you could derive from repeat orders. But before we discuss auto-order as a bonus, let's recap what auto-order is all about. So sabi sa USANA compensation plan, if you want to remain commission eligible, meaning you're serious about the business and gusto mong makatanggap talaga ng dollars every week, for you to be eligible to receive commissions, you should place at least 100 points worth of orders every month. And a lot of new people, when they learn about this, nag-heart attack sila. Oh my God, bibili na naman ako 100 points. Kakabili ko lang ng 500 points. Pero before ka mag-overreact dyan, let me pinpoint to you, di ba, wag kang OA, ang 100 points every month is just like 3 sets of vitamins. Diba? So that's the monthly maintenance USANA requires para maging commission eligible ka. So again, no, just to give you this analogy, if you start, kunyari again, a restaurant, di ba, walang kamatayang restaurant, mag-open ka ng restaurant, you cash out like 5 million, that's your initial capital. But every month, you have a rolling capital. Di ba, labas ka ng 5 million today, but every month, you're paying for rent, sweldo, di ba, inventory mo. So, possibly, ang nilabas mo 5 million, ang paikot mo 1 million. In USANA, comparably, it's the same. Di ba, you start with 500 points, pero ang paikot mo lang dito, 100 points. Di ba? In yung 100 points na yan, kung panay vitamins, that's only like 3 pairs. So, wag kang masyadong mag-overreact. So anyway, later, I have good news about auto-order. I'm not sure if this was thoroughly discussed to you, pero there's something about the auto-order that you would really come to love. Di ba? Magugulat ka. But anyway, ano muna tong auto-order bonus? Sabi sa USANA compensation plan, once the time comes na you're able to reach 5,000 points left and right, because the people on your left and right, they are placing their repeat orders also, instead of getting a flat $1,000 weekly, you're gonna get a $250 bonus every week. Basta nagma-max out ka ng 5,000 points every week because of auto-order. So yung iba, they're underwhelmed by this. Akala ko ba malaki? $250. But let me compute that for you. $250 in 1 week, in a month, in 4 weeks, that's $1,000. Converted to Philippine peso at present conversion, that's like 50,000 pesos. And kung titingnan mo, 50,000 pesos from the auto-order bonus, this is separate from your retail income. This is separate from your weekly commissions. This is still separate from your matching bonus. This is a different kind of bonus. And if you earn this consistently, eventually, di ba pag lumaki yung network mo, $1,000 a month extra because of the auto-order bonus. If you're not naman a person na super magastos, halos buong cost of living mo mako-cover na ng auto-order bonus. Di ba? But ito pala, ano yung good news about the auto order? As I've said kanina, if you joined USANA, you were entitled to a discount, a lifetime discount of roughly 20%. But when you place your auto order, you're gonna get an additional 10% discount. So super duper cheap na ng mga USANA products na bibilhin mo on your second purchase or third purchase or 1,000th purchase. So how does this work? Sabihin natin next month, it's already time for you to place your auto order. Sabihin natin, actually, pwede kang mamili. Basta 100 points minimum. Sabihin natin next month, gusto mong mag-place ng 3 cell essentials, that's like 3,250 pesos. Times 3 pairs, that would come out as 9,750. But sabi ko nga, di ba, meron kang additional 10% discount, so you don't buy it for 3,250. You buy it for 2,925 na lang. So by the time your coach or your mentor tells you it's time for you to place an auto order, sa totoo lang, that's your chance to replenish your stocks, yung mga na out of stock ka na. And that's also your chance to try USANA products na hindi mo nabili when you join. So you're gonna get an additional 10% discount. So actually, auto order is very cool kasi super mura na lang USANA products mo lumalabas. So 2,925, that's good for 4 months already. Diba? Kung 1 pair a day. And ngayon, we're already at the last part of our training tonight, no? We're already done with why you need to take this business seriously and how do you actually make money out of this. And itong part na to, this will last for like 15 minutes na lang, promise. So tiisin mo na. And this is actually the most important part of our training. Bakit? Kasi this part would actually tackle the things that you need to do step by step for you to get your business momentum going. Diba? Knowing everything you've learned tonight, ano bang kailangan mong gawin? So let's start with number 1. This sounds corny. This sounds nonsense. If it's your first time hearing this concept, sabi nila, if you want to succeed in business, you really need to be clear with why. You need to know your why. Why do you want to succeed in business? And ako, ang tagal-tagal ko na sa USANA, I've read so many business books. I've seen so many interviews with entrepreneurs, Bill Gates, Manny Villar, Jeff Bezos. And you know what, guys? It's so interesting. Kahit sino pang business person yan, naturally, a cliche question pops up. Ano yung cliche question? Uy, Manny Villar, uy, Jeff Bezos, ikaw considering you're already rich, what would you advise the guy who's starting his business today pa lang? And almost always, they would give the same answer. It's so interesting. Ano yung answer na binibigay nila? If you're a starting business person, you need to be clear with your why. Sabi nila, prospering in business, succeeding in business is much, much challenging than getting an 8 to 5 job. If you don't have a compelling why, the moment na mahirapan ka, you're gonna quit right away. And for you to understand what knowing your why really means, let me share with you my personal why when I was starting in the business 12 years ago. So like what I've shared kanina, I got into this business, nursing graduate ako from UST. I couldn't go abroad. Ang pangit ng world economy during my time. And I was 21 years old when I joined. And one thing that I was very clear about when I was 21, sabi ko, masipag naman akong tao. Matyaga naman akong tao. Pero first things first, I wanna earn my own money. Pero sabi ko, gusto ko in my own terms. Ayoko naman yung I don't want to go to work, but I have to force myself to report to a hospital, sit in a cubicle, alam mo yung mag-time in, time out. So sabi ko, masipag ako kung masipag, pero I want to make money in my own terms. And ako naman, I did not come from a rich family. Diba? Sabi ko, at 21 years old, sabi ko, yeah, fresh grad, wala akong pera. Pero sabi ko, it couldn't last, diba? Na 5 years, 10 years, wala pa rin akong pera. So sabi ko, I had this timetable in my mind. Sabi ko, by the time I'm 25 naman, I should be able to afford the things that I want. By the time I'm 30, diba, I should have been able to invest. I should have been able to establish a good source of income. I should have been well-traveled already kapag 30 na. And I had those timetables. And thankfully, because of this opportunity, and thankfully also because of my hard work, I was able to achieve those things. Diba? Sabi nga ng mentor ko, kahit gano'n ka kasipag, kahit gano'n ka katsaga, if you're not in the right opportunity, walang mangyayari sa'yo. But if you're already in the right opportunity, you have to be clear with your why. Ngayon, if you're the person listening to me tonight, di ba parang ang corny? But for me, knowing your why, large part of it has to do with demographics. Di ba? Ilang taon ka na ba? What's your economic status? First, let me talk to the Gen Zs, the millennials. If you're Gen Z, if you're a millennial, di ba, it's okay naman kasi Gen Zs, millennials, di ba, ang sigaw ng bayan is pursue your passion, pursue your passion. And for me, there's nothing wrong with that. But of course, I would always say this again and again. Passion is okay, pero passion ka dyan, wala ka namang pera. Di ba? Yeah, bata ka, but you won't be young forever. Bata ka, pero mabilis lang yung oras. Diba? So although you're young, you have to start thinking about buying your house. Diba? You have to think about money. And probably, you're somebody, you're young, you're not a breadwinner, then good for you. But even though you're not the breadwinner, it should also be your goal na as young as you are, diba? You should be able to return back the favor sa parents mo. And how would you be able to return the favor if you're not making good income? Diba? So those are the things that you should also consider why you need to succeed financially. And ngayon naman, if you're somebody, you're already in your 40s or 50s, you just joined USANA, di ba, you have to be aware. You have to double time or triple time in this business. Why am I telling you this? It's because you have a smaller window to attain financial success. Di ba, dapat nung 20s ka pa lang, nag-isip-isip ka na ng business. Nung 30s ka pa lang, pa-take off ka na. Nung 40s, nag-iipon ka na. Di ba, nung 50s, 60s, medyo chill ka na lang. So right now, if you're only learning about these concepts, diba, in the middle of your lifetime, you should double time, diba? And for all the new people here, one thing about knowing your why, I have to be clear about this. Sabi sa akin ng mentor ko, never ever let your why be also the reason why you cannot succeed in business. Don't let the reason why you want to succeed in business also be the hurdle why you cannot do the business. So what do I mean by this? A lot of people, kunyari mga parents, they would come to me, kakausapin ko sila, why do you want to succeed here? And they would tell me, I am mentor kasi yung kids ko, they're already growing up. I want to send them to Ateneo. I want to give them good education. Kasi after a month, follow up ko, uy, you're not attending trainings. Uy, let's work on your USANA business. And they would tell me, nako mentor, I'm so busy with my kids. Hindi ko yan maasikaso ngayon. Diba? So what gives? Akala ko ba you wanna do this for your kids? And now you're telling me you cannot do this because of your kids. Diba? And yung mga kids naman, sasabihin nila, mentor ako talaga. I really wanna succeed in USANA. I want time freedom. I want the flexibility. I want financial freedom. I wanna resign from my job. O diba? Ang daming sinabi. Pero after a month, I'll ask them, uy, ano na? Sabi nila, mentor, I cannot focus on USANA. I'm too busy with my work. So, for me, di ba, I understand. Even before you joined USANA, I acknowledge, I respect, I understand you already have too much on your plate. Marami ka naman na talagang responsibilities, marami kang pressure. Pero you know what guys, if you're starting a business, hindi naman pwedeng walang pressure. Hindi naman pwedeng walang commitment. Di ba? You really need to devote time. You really need to devote energy dito. Di ba you cannot just sign up in USANA, not do anything about it, and complain that USANA doesn't work. So dito, let your why inspire you. Let your why move you. Di ba? Don't let it be your excuse. And secondly, as we end, you have to understand the concept of 80-20%. What's 80-20%? A lot of the people I work with, the new ones, they have this inferiority complex. Even if I work hard on that business, I really don't have the skills. I'm not talented. Hindi ko nga kayang magbenta. Hindi ko nga kayang mag-persuade ng mga tao. But you know what, guys? If success is 100%, skills would only account for 20%. More important than skills is what we call mindset. Diba sabi nila, even if you get a brilliant person, even if you get a genius person, a talented person, pero kung yung mindset bulok, yung ugali bulok, that person will not prosper. Diba? Pero sabi nila, even if you get somebody na medyo mahina yung pick up, medyo low IQ, diba? Pero willing to learn, talagang really driven to succeed, kahit naman hindi magaling yan, ipa-seminar mo lang yan ng ipa-seminar, ipa-training mo lang yan ng ipa-training, matututo din yan eventually. Diba? So sabi nga nila, if you're building a business, kahit hindi pa USANA, if you're building a business, you should hire character. You should hire mindset. Kasi skills can be trained. A good mindset is hard to acquire. Diba? A good mindset is so hard to instill. Specifically in this business, when we say you should have a good mindset in USANA, what good mindset are we referring to? A good mindset would encompass your attitude. You should have a good attitude towards this business. And when we say good attitude, diba, you should have this, again, this sounds corny, diba, you should be willing to say yes to your mentor. So it's no different from, for me, it's no different from saying yes to your boss. Diba, if your boss tells you to do something, sabihin, uy, submit mo yung report tomorrow. Diba, you won't tell your boss, boss, Sunday bukas, pwede bang next week na lang? Uy, may COVID ngayon, ECQ, pero you have to go to work. Ay, boss, takot ako sa virus. Diba, you cannot say that, boss, masakit yung likod ko today. Boss, I have to do the grocery, wala kaming yaya. Diba, you won't tell your boss that because whatever your boss tells you to do, you have to. Ngayon, the problem with network marketing, the problem in USANA, we have this dynamic na we're telling you to do things and we're not your boss. We're not your bosses here. And it's totally optional. It's totally your prerogative whether you're gonna follow us or not. And we respect that. Hindi ka naman namin pwedeng bigyan ng memo na you're not attending trainings. Diba? It's really optional on your part. Pero you have to understand, diba, everything that you're being told to do by your coach or mentor, those are actually the basic things na dapat i-master mo na, tapusin mo na para go na tayo. Diba? Hindi yung papatagalin mo pa tapos na-delay hanggang sa wala nang nangyari. So the faster you would say yes to your mentor, the faster nabibilis ka dito. And secondly, apart from having a yes mentor attitude, sabi nila, if you want to succeed in USANA, you should have a good learning and listening attitude. Good learning and listening attitude. So bawal na bawal dito, you're the new person here, tapos ikaw yung magaling. Diba? You're the new person here, tapos ang dami mong alam. So I understand, no, sometimes people would sign up, alam mo yung their senior vice president sa bank, tapos the upline that they have in USANA is a high school student or college student. Alam mo yun, tapos you're a bank person, tapos biglang makikinig ka sa bugoy-bugoy. Or minsan naman, alam mo yung you're gonna join USANA, you're very wealthy already, talagang business person ka, and your upline mo is director sa USANA. But you know what, guys? What I realized, no matter the status of your upline, when you join USANA, you're the new person here. You have things to learn. Diba? As much as we admire you, yes, may masters ka, yes, PhD ka, yes, you're the boss, diba, outside USANA. But then again, that's outside USANA. It doesn't apply here. Diba? You should be humble enough to listen. You should be humble enough to learn. And one of the things, talagang never kong makakalimutan, in one of the trainings I attended when I was new, sabi ng speaker, a lot of Filipinos never ever achieve financial success. They never succeed financially because they always think they're right. They always think they're right. Pero sabi niya, if you think you're right, but you're not rich, then you're wrong. If you think you're right, but you're not rich, then you're wrong. Sabi niya, you cannot be right and poor at the same time. So, right now, di ba, if you're the new person here and you want to be financially successful, have the humility to learn, have the humility to listen, have the discipline of attending trainings. Diba? And ito, let me share personal frustration ko to sa mga tao. I had a friend, nag-join to ng USANA last year. I remember this friend of mine, classmate ko to from college, nag-join siya last year after ko sang kulitin 1,000 times. Sabi niya, sige, join ako Ryan kasi work from home and I really need the money. I need an extra source of income. So nag-join siya Thursday morning. Sabi ko sa kanya, sige, that's good. Welcome to USANA. Sabi ko, mag-Zoom tayo mamaya. Sabi ko, turuan kita step by step what you need to do. This entire training, I was willing to conduct one-on-one para lang maintindihan niya kaagad. Sabi niya, nako Ryan, after lunch, I have Zoom meetings eh. Hindi ako pwede. Sabi ko, sige, what about after your Zoom meetings? Sabi niya, ay, pagod na ako noon, next time na lang. Sabi ko, okay, sige. What about let's set a Zoom meeting tomorrow, Friday, sakto weekend the following day. Sabi niya, ay Ryan, marami akong tinatapos sa work. Next time na lang, hindi rin ako pwede tomorrow. Sabi ko, okay, what about Saturday? Sakto weekend. Sabi niya, nako Ryan, ano lang yan, lahat ng errands ko ginagawa ko ng Saturday, I'm busy. Sabi ko, okay, what about Sunday? Sabi ko, sige, after family lunch, after Sunday lunch. Sabi niya, nako Ryan, rest day ko yan kasi gusto daw niya when she starts the week, rested siya. So sabi ko, oh my God, may ganyang klase palang tao sa mundo. Sabi ko, sige, just let me know na lang kung kailan ka free. Kasi yun, never na siyang naging free. And sabi ko, ano yun, nag-start siya ng business tapos wala lang. Diba? So sabi ko, if you want to succeed in business, diba, hindi ka pwedeng ang hirap-hirap mo naman turuan. Ang hirap-hirap mo naman hanapan ng schedule. Pinalo mo pa yung presidente ng Pilipinas. Diba? So dito, kailangan, if you want to succeed, diba, give time, give effort. Wag yung ang dami mong alam, tatamad-tamad. That's very malas in business. Diba? Bakit hindi nag-succeed sa business? Kasi tamad. Diba? Ang daming kaartehan. Diba? So if you want to succeed here, you should have a solid mindset. Yes, skills are important, but they're not as important as mindset. Thirdly, for you to succeed here, you should have a thorough understanding paano ba yung compensation plan. Kanina pinasadahan natin yan. If you did not understand it yet, in full, okay lang. As you attend more trainings, as you listen to more presentations, you'd understand it gradually. So ako admittedly, no, hindi naman ako low IQ, pero parang nag-sink in lang sa akin, bakit may left? Bakit may right? Ano yung 15%? Ano yung 20%? Ano yung AO? Parang naintindihan ko yan lahat-lahat after like a month. So, ikaw, if you're new, hindi mo yan maintindihan kaagad, that's fine. Just keep attending more trainings. And fourthly, second to the last, if you want to succeed in business, in any business, not only in USANA, you should have a prospect list. You should have a prospect list. Kung ang business mo, car dealership, diba, insurance, real estate, ano mang business yan, you should have a list of people you would be offering your products or services to. Diba? Hindi yan pwedeng nagbukas ka ng negosyo tapos bara-bara, bahala na sinong bumili. Bahala na kung sinong sumali. And ito, I'll be honest to you about USANA. There are so many people who quit in this business and wala talagang nangyayari. I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of people, I would say as much as 70-80%, ganun yung nangyayari. And I'll tell you the reason bakit 70-80% of the people here quit the business too early. It's because they never ever make a serious effort to come up with a prospect list. And why does that make people quit? It's because if you would rely on memory, hindi ka ganun ka-genius. Diba? Hindi ka ganun ka-brilliant. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-prospect list ng memory lang. Diba? We don't care how smart you are. We don't care how good your memory is. Diba? You should come up with a prospect list. Otherwise, kung wala kang prospect list, what happens? A lot of people who join network marketing, the only experience that they have is this. They would try, siguro, kakausapin nila yung tatlong tropa nila, tatlong amiga nila, si tito, si tita, si best friend, si girlfriend. And after talking to 10 people, these people would conclude, oh my God, na-scam ako sa USANA. Wala talagang gustong bumili sa akin. Wala talagang gustong sumali sa akin. Parang, oh my God, nagbi-business ka ba? Di ba in business, you don't just talk to 10 people, tapos biglang, ay, nagbigay ako ng 10 flyers about my restaurant sa mga tao. The 10 people I give flyers to, hindi naman nag-dine in sa restaurant ko. Isara ko na to. It doesn't work, lugi na. Di ba? Business doesn't work that way. In business, you're really gonna have to talk to a lot of people. Di ba? So if you're not used to talking to people, I'm forewarning you. Diba? You're really gonna be compelled to talk to a lot of people here. And when it comes to prospect list, no, you should have a separate notebook. You can opt to do it yung i-type sa computer. Pero for me, I believe in the power of writing. So mas nakaka-excite if it's written down. So yung ibang uplines, they would advise you to write 50 names, 100 names. Ako personally, I would ask you to write as much as 300 names. Bakit? I'll tell you another statistic. If you're new and you're not good in convincing people, your failure rate is so high. Maiiyak ka dito. Grabe. What do I mean? Yung failure rate mo would be as high as 90%. Meaning to say, for every 100 people you would approach, expect mo na yan, 90 people isi-sin zone ka. 90 people outright, they would tell you they're not interested about USANA mo. Diba? They're not interested about that business. 90 out of 100 outright would reject you. But even if you're not good, even if your success rate is little as 10%, diba? What's 10% of 100? That's 10 people. If you have a prospect list of 300, easily you should be able to get about 10 to 30 people to buy your product or join your business. There would be downlines who would come to me, mentor, wala talaga akong makuha, wala talaga akong mabentahan ng products. Diba? It's statistically impossible. You have 300 names in the middle of this crisis. Diba? Walang gustong bumili ng vitamins, walang gustong maging healthy out of 300. Diba? Out of 300, ang daming nawawalan ng trabaho, ang daming naghahanap ng pagkakakitaan. Out of 300, ni isa walang gustong mag-business. Diba? I really find that statistically impossible. It's mathematically impossible. Grabing malas mo na lang. Diba? Na out of 300, wala. So for me, if you're really serious about this business, you should have a list of people. Close friends, relatives, diba? People who may be interested sa products or sa business. Hindi pwedeng walang list. Hindi pwedeng memory lang. You should have a proper prospect list. Ngayon, I have good news. If you're new, you're not naman required to do the presentations. You're not required to do the convincing. Kasi your team, your upline, your coach would gladly help you with the USANA presentations. So all you need, if you're new, is to schedule as many appointments as you can. So how do you schedule appointments? So I don't want to touch on that tonight. Kasi yung coach mo or mentor mo may give you a specific technique. Pero for me, if you would attend that training no, on how to set appointments, pwede ba be ready with your prospect lists? Kasi minsan na-attend ka ng mga setting appointments training pero wala ka naman prospect list. Diba? So you have to do it step by step. So tomorrow is Sunday. Diba? Dapat you should devote an hour, sit down and write names down. So ngayon, when it comes to prospecting, before I end the presentation, I will give 2 advanced tips. So actually, this is dapat next topic pa to. But since we want to finish your PPPS right away, I'll give the advanced tips right now. So tip number 1, if you want to succeed in network marketing, you have to invite a specific group of people. Hindi pwedeng kung sino-sino lang. And why am I telling you this? A lot of new people in this business, what they would instinctively do, they would invite yung mga BFF nila, yung tita nila, ay yung friend ko, nagmo-Mobile Legends lang yun, sige, invitein ko yan sa USANA. Ay, sige, si tita, nagko-Korea novela yan, invitein ko yan sa business. Tandaan mo guys, you're building a business, you're not building a group of mga walang magawa sa buhay. Diba? And what I realized in my decade of doing USANA, if you invite 20 lazy people, nag-invite ka ng 20 taong tamad, and you give them your best presentation, your best effort, you know what? Pagdating sa dulo, you're gonna end up frustrated. What do I mean? You're gonna ask them, maganda ba yung products? Yeah. Maganda ba yung business? Oo naman. Game ka ba? Naku Ryan, hindi ko linya yan eh. Naku Ryan, wala akong budget sa mga ganyan-ganyan. Naku Ryan, wala akong time sa mga ganyan-ganyan ngayon. And you know what guys, in my experience, when you talk to 20 lazy people, those are the excuses that they would give you. And frustratingly, no, this is just my opinion. Diba, sometimes, yung mga taong sasagot niyan sa'yo, for me, no, this is how I see it, parang my God, wala ka nang pera, nagdalawang isip ka pa about extra income. Diba, hindi ka na nga mayaman, hindi na nga enough yung kinikita mo, nagdalawang isip ka pa about starting a side business. But at the end of the day, it's so hard to motivate a person na tamad. Diba? So if you want to succeed in business, diba, ayusin mo yung prospect list mo. And secondly, diba, as I've said, you have to invite a specific group of people. So when you say specific group, ano yung particular profile of people that you're looking for? You're looking for people who are ambitious. people who are driven, people who are discontented, people who want to prosper, people who want more. Diba? And these are people, when you show them an opportunity, nako, Ryan, I'm busy eh. Pero sige, pagkakakitaan, why not? Nako, Ryan, nako, hindi ko linya yan. Pero sige, simulan natin. Nako, Ryan, I have no budget for that. Pero sige, go lang, business naman to. Diba? And bakit? Why do these people think that way? It's because when they see an opportunity, they would grab it. Because they're not lazy, they're driven, they have ambitions, they're goal-oriented. Diba? And it's very, very different. If prospecting would be different, if these are the people you're targeting. Diba? And magugulat ka, if you target driven people, business-minded people, magugulat ka, network marketing, I'm not saying it's easy, pero it's gonna be much, much easier if these are the people you're attracting to join your team. Diba? Secondly, advanced tip number 2, pwede ba, before mo invitein yung mga tao that I described in tip number 1, could you please first approach your family and friends about USANA? Kasi marami rin bago, they think, kahit naman invitein ko yung friends ko, kahit naman invitein ko yung siblings ko, yung parents ko, they won't believe me naman, wala pa akong result. Pero you know what guys, why prejudge them? Ikaw nga, you were skeptic about USANA. But after listening to the whole thing, nag-decide ka naman to join, nagandahan ka naman. Diba? So, at the end of the day, just present it to them. Let them decide for themselves. Tandaan mo, if you don't approach a particular person, what's the chance of that particular person buying your product or joining your business? You have 0% chance. But if you approach somebody about USANA, there are only 2 probable outcomes. Probably yes, probably no. That's 50-50% chance. 50-50% chance is much bigger than 0% chance. Diba, iniisip mo, what if invitein ko tapos hindi mag-join? What if invitein mo tapos mag-join pala? Diba, what if invitein mo tapos naghahanap pala siya ng products? You'll never know unless you approach them. And thirdly, I'll give you another tip. Tandaan mo, at the end of the day, even if you approach people and they reject you, at the end of the day, rejections mean nothing. Rejections are worth nothing. Diba? What do I mean by this? Supposing you have your wallet with you and yung wallet mo may 10,000 pesos. If you lose your wallet, how much do you lose? You lose 10,000 plus the value of your wallet plus whatever valuable items. But at the end of the day, if you face like 100 consecutive rejections, alam mo yung kamalas-malasan mo, you approach 100 people, tas all the 100 you approach talagang rejection yung naabutan mo. At the end of the day, if you're rejected by 100 people, magkano ba yung nawala sa'yo? Magkano ba ang 100 rejections? 500 pesos ba yun? 50 pesos ba yun? Diba? It's not even 5 pesos. It's worth nothing. But sometimes, alam mo yung masyado kang emotional about it, nireject ka ng 5 tao, feeling mo gumuho na yung mundo mo. But at the end of the day, wala naman. So when you're rejected by people, all it means is that go to the next person, talk to the next person, talk to the next person. Diba? Don't take it seriously. Rejections mean nothing. And you know what guys, if you keep those in mind, diba? Approach your family and friends, approach highly ambitious people, driven people, and never mind rejections. If you have that attitude, ultimately, eventually, you're going to be able to build a network. Diba? So, keep those 3 tips in mind. And lastly, most importantly, if you really want to get things going, you should immerse yourself in trainings. You need to train here. Signing up, yes, that's good. Welcome to USANA. Diba? We're happy you're here. But then again, para gumana to for you, kailangan mag-attend ka ng trainings. And a lot of new people, they're allergic to this. Anong training? Napaka-hassle naman yan, training. Naipit na nga yung pera ko, magte-training pa ako. But guess what guys, whatever business you open, you need to be a master of that business. Kasi maraming mga bago, pag bibigyan mo ng training link, ay nako, kailangan pa ba yung product training? Kailangan pa ba yung system training? Kailangan pa ba yung compliance training? But again, you're talking like a Filipino na naman na walang alam sa negosyo. Diba? Whatever business you open, kunyari, you open a grocery store, you cannot hope to build a successful grocery store if you don't know how to run a grocery store. You cannot succeed in a restaurant business if you don't know how to run and manage a restaurant business. In the same manner, you cannot hope to succeed in USANA not knowing how to run a USANA business. So meaning to say, if you join USANA, you should master how to run a USANA business. Hindi pwedeng hindi. Diba? Hindi pwedeng hindi mo alamin. And ang cool thing naman about this business, the more you learn about it, the more you'll earn. Diba? The more na mas gamay mo yung isang industry, the more na mas gamay mo yung isang negosyo, the more nakikita ka. That's a universal principle. And sabi nga nila, the faster you learn, the faster you'll earn from it. Diba? That's why if you're new, tapos ECQ naman tayo ngayon, and largely yung mga training sa USANA, online naman ngayon, if you can attend 2 to 3 Zoom trainings per day, why not? Diba? Wag yung parang magte-training ka once a week. If you can attend 2 Zoom trainings a day para ma-absorb mo lahat ng mabilis, do so. Diba? And USANA actually provides all sorts of trainings na kailangan mo. And I want you guys to take a screenshot of this. Speaking of trainings, no, itong new distributors orientation, this is ideally the first training that you'll get sa USANA. But this is the first. This is definitely the last. And right now, what I'm flashing on the screen is the training schedule of USANA next week. So if you're somebody na ang problem mo, you don't exactly know how to sell your products, so there's a training on Thursday. It's called Healthiest Family on Earth. So at 7 p.m. Thursday, i-discuss dyan ng corporate pharmacist natin para saan ba yung cell essentials, para saan ba yung proflavanol. Diba? If you want to know ano yung mechanics of promoting USANA online, there's a Friday training. It's at 5:30 p.m. It's called Jump Starting Your Business the Right Way. So basically, all the trainings that you need are plastered there. And at the same time, we're all part of different teams. Kanya-kanyang teams, we also provide so many powerful trainings. So your coach or your mentor would be telling you ano yung mga trainings na kailangan mo. And as much as you can, umattend ka, wag kang tamad. Diba? Wag kang maarte. I mean, you should really devote time and effort sa business na to. And that's actually the end of my training for tonight. That's the last slide, no? Thanks for bearing with me. Natagalan nyo grabe for 2 hours. Ako napagod na ako. Anyway, as I end my training, I want to end this training like I always do, which is sharing my favorite quote of all time. And my favorite quote of all time, I think this is so apt sa mga bago. Kasi, ito, let me share the quote first. Sabi, in this quote, everybody prays for cake. Everybody prays for cake. But when the good Lord sends them eggs, butter, sugar, flour, and milk to bake their own cake, they get mad, they get frustrated, and they walk out of the kitchen. So why do I like telling the new ones this quote? It's because, kung titingnan mo, no, it strikes through the heart of the ugly attitude ng mga Pilipino. What do I mean? Generally speaking, Filipinos, I would say, are very religious. They're very spiritual. Alam mo yung everyday na lang, we pray to the Lord. We hope, Lord, wala na bang better life? Wala na bang breakthrough? Could you prosper me? Could you bless me? Diba? And ako, naniniwala naman ako, regardless of your religion, the Lord really wants to bless you and prosper you. But the thing about the Lord, the way He operates, hindi naman niya hihingin, ano bang QR code mo, Ryan? Diba? Transfer akong $1 million sa'yo. Ano bang dream house mo? I-drawing mo, hanap akong contractor, bilang kitang lupa. Diba? Ano ba yung dream car mo? Pa-deliver ko sa garahe mo. That's not the way the Lord operates. Diba? As much as the Lord wants to bless you and prosper you, diba? The Lord, on the other hand, would give you an opportunity. The opportunity to prosper yourself. Diba? The opportunity that could serve as the deal breaker. And right now, you were given this opportunity. And on top of this opportunity, you know what, guys? You were also given the capacity to work hard. You were also given the capacity to learn new things. Diba? And at the same time, it's providential. Napasok-pasok ka sa business na to, hindi mo alam yung gagawin. Alam mo yung you would also be given people who would be helping you and guiding you in the business. And for me, in retrospect, that's how I see what happened to me in USANA. when I joined 12 years ago, I wasn't really particularly looking for a business. I came across USANA. Sabi ko, nandito na, ba't hindi ko i-work out? And you know what, guys? After 12 years, it really paid off. Diba? And right now, if you're the new person here, alam mo yung matagal ka nang naghahanap ng opportunity. Maraming tao nasisiraan na ng bait sa labas, thinking of ways and means, ano bang pwede nilang pasukin. Ikaw, you're already part of something. You already started something. But right now, diba, it's time for you to get your hands dirty. It's time for you to bake your own cake. Build this business. And you don't do it by being tatamad-tamad. Diba? You don't do it by yung being maarte. When you build a business, you start working hard, you start being serious about it. Then when I say start working hard, start being serious about it, it all starts with your PPPS, like what I said kanina. Diba? PPPS is your first goal. So yes, USANA gives you 8 weeks to hit PPPS, but in short, tapusin mo yan in 2 weeks. After PPPS, hit bigger goals in the business. Pero now that you're starting, start it on the right foot, diba? Hit your PPPS ASAP and create the habit of attending trainings. As in, really get your hands dirty and master this business. So this is the first training. I hope you learned a lot. So once again, welcome to all the new